Yeah. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey, what? Podcast? Okay.
Ready, set, go.
I didn't. Sometimes it feels like the week is too short in terms of like, oh, fuck, we got to do another one of these. But
I don't feel like that
are,
as much as you.
No, I know, because I have to fucking lay the shit out and get the emails and put them in a thing. And you'll do it sometime and you'll stop smirking.
I'm just saying, don't you do it the day of?
Yeah, but it's still a pain in the ass.
No,
it's
I'm
still
not
like,
saying it's not pain, but I just mean the whole week is.
No, but I got to worry
Right.
about. I have to put shit down. I have to think about what to say. It's a process.
Okay, I believe it.
And this week was long. Even by America 2020 weeks, this was week.
Feels like an eternity.
I'm nominated for week of the year. It might have been week of the year.
Week of the year. What's the
for just fucking crazy? What the fuck?
Are we? It's just.
You think it can't get worse, and then Trump's like, it can get worse.
Our simulation is fucked.
Yes.
What? Like, I don't get it.
I don't.
I just.
Well, let's personally. What did you do this week?
Oh my God, I don't. You start because I don't remember.
I got my nose. I got a beautiful nose job. Mm-hmm. And it was inpatient. They just like put needles. Oh, I sent you the picture of
I was like,
the beak.
Ew, what the fuck?
And you literally goes, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, it's my nose. Will, I'll forward it to you because it's horrifying.
I really thought it was some
it literally looks like
pregnancy.
a bird, a pregnant bird.
Can you do this profile from
Bird
me?
X-ray?
Okay. Did it get smaller?
No, it didn't. No one. You ain't touching the bump. Trust me, honey.
Why? Shave off a little.
Because it's
I don't think you need to.
for a man my age to get a nose job would be the saddest. To get like a cosmetic
It's like if you
nose
got
job.
lipo or
I
something.
mean, like,
man.
kill me.
that'd be
Even though you probably wouldn't notice because of my nose. Like the bump has been away under my nose. I've had glasses for 5 years now, so people may not remember what the bump was like.
Wait, you've only had glasses for 5 years?
Yeah.
Why? That's so weird. It's
I
like,
didn't have them
It's like
before.
starting to smoke at 37.
No, except that your vision gets bad in your 30s.
But you always wear glasses.
I didn't wear glasses till 5 years ago.
No, sorry, you wear them all the time.
Now I do.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
your vision that bad? I thought
I need
when you
glasses.
grow older, it's that.
Well, there's
far
that
away
one,
thing?
but I had both. I'm lucky. I have both. So I've had glasses for 5 years,
And it's it's like the bump.
and it sits really nicely on the bump.
A lot of people who don't have strong bridges, or I think that's what they're called, they can't wear glasses.
I don't think that's true.
I have a friend, and her nose it swoops in a little bit more, and then her nose comes out, and they fall. So it's really hard for her to wear glasses.
It's hard for her. Pray for her.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
So I
lucky.
got like needle, like topical lotion, whatever, like topical. It's all in the nostril.
Oh.
Like topical fucking
So you couldn't feel your nose.
anesthesia. Then they hit it with a needle, anesthesia, and not anesthesia, whatever. Yeah, I guess it's not anesthesia. Whatever makes it
Yeah.
numbing.
Anesthesia.
And then they take a radio frequency thing and just press it against any cartilage that's like in the way of the nostril. The Way of the Nostril. Have you seen The Way of the Nostril? It's one of the best unseen movies of the 2010s. And so far so good. It's still swollen.
So wait, what does it do?
It
liquidizes,
vaporizes.
vaporizes.
It takes the cartilage and literally just like just makes it small. Like a super villain went like and like you just go into shriveled thing. It shrivels it basically, and
So it's all there. Nothing comes out.
nothing comes out.
Okay.
Though I may have to go back if it doesn't work to get some stuff out, to get some more made out.
Great.
Yeah, so that'll be great. That'll be fun.
What did it smell like?
Nothing. Like nose. It wasn't like my flesh. It was fine. It was like, okay. It didn't smell like anything. Now the next one, slicing. The next one is slicing. So
Sliced nose
pray for
meat.
me. If you keep me in your prayers. I did that. I'm getting an Irish passport.
So funny.
Somehow. I don't know the rules. My sister got an Irish passport, and she did all the birth certificate.
Jump ship?
Well, you want to have your. I'm trying to leave my options open.
I know, it's true.
I don't want to. We're in me and America, and it's complicated right now.
You're in an entanglement.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get an Irish passport. I don't understand how this shit works because all 4 of my grandparents were born in Ireland, and my sister went and got the birth certificates.
So your sister did all the
the actual work, yeah. By the way, you know when my grandmother was born? 1896.
Oh, that's so long ago.
She had my mom late, and my mom had me late, and now I'm late. So it's 100. You end up like 120. It's just a lot of years.
Yeah,
it's many years.
Did you ever meet your grandma?
No, my mom didn't. She had my mom and then died 2 years later.
What?
Yeah, pretty great. So yeah, I've never met her.
Irish shit I've ever heard.
So Irish. Oh, I never told you. I should have talked about this on the love episode. So my mom's mom died, and the assumption was, this is 1935. The assumption was, well, a man can't take care of his kids.
How many kids were there?
3?
Oh, okay.
4?
Okay.
And it was just assumed, like, well, so my real grandmother told her sister, like, hey, take my kids when I die.
Married, shack up with
not married. Like, take each one of you, take one of my kids. And like my real grandfather, nothing. He didn't have to
deal with any kid.
And then he ended up marrying. Just like fucking crazy.
So he married another.
So my mom and her sisters all got split up.
Oh, I remember this story.
Yeah, and then my one of my aunts got stuck in Ireland for 10 years because of Hitler. She just got stuck. Talk about like what you were in. At in Ireland, the way you were stuck in Ireland. Yeah, similar situations, except
due to a weird fascist person, maybe.
Right? Do you see the
basically? I'm basically your.
Yeah, you're
aunt.
my aunt.
You're your aunt.
And so pray for me. I'll be getting an Irish passport, but
pray for Ireland.
Pray for Ireland. Bianca. I'm gonna go to the wedding.
Yeah, you know what? You are going. You've been to Ireland.
I'm not.
Her name was Becky.
I'm not dying.
She came over 7 weeks.
I'm not dying to go to Ireland.
I've been there a lot. Here's the deal. Really cool. Terrible weather. So that's like vacation with bad weather.
It's the worst. It's like it looks like Narnia. It's not. It's just green.
It's really green. It's really. Oh, the people are so nice.
See, that's the thing about Ireland I don't buy.
No, they're legitimately the nicest people.
They act like they're nice.
No, they are.
Bianca,
truly nice.
I mean, in an IrishDaddy every day.
You're an American Irish body.
No.
Different.
You're
in like House of Pain.
My grandfather, like my dad's parents tried to give him away.
Twas a different time.
No, I know, but I'm saying like these are the people that you're dealing with. The thing that you may not sense about Ireland is the fucking seething anger.
There's a lot of domestic violence.
Right, but it pulses in all these like when Irish eyes are smiling, but meanwhile he's like, if he comes at me again, I swear to God.
There's some struggles. There's struggles in Ireland. There's internal struggles. Like they're so macho. It's really the men don't heal. This is like Ireland's just a wound.
Yeah,
it's just a wound. It's not a country. It's
they're blacker than black men. The Irishmen.
There's black Irish.
Yeah,
different thing. But no, but they're so nice.
They seem nice.
I did cuss an Irish woman out on the way back, but she was being a racist. She was being a bad girl. She was being. We'll spare you the story, but she told me.
What did you say to her?
She was like, "You don't act like that in this country. No, you're not from here. Don't act like that in my country. Can you believe?" And then went to somebody else was like something weird, and I was like,
"By the way, I'm still not on your side yet.
No.
I'm in the middle right now."
Wow.
You're gonna have to.
You don't even know what happened.
I don't know what happened. I need you to tell me.
Okay. Basically.
Okay,
I'll tell you the story. I'm gonna tell you the story.
Great.
So basically, We're getting ready. So when the plane lands, and I wonder your take of this, plane lands, okay? I don't get up immediately. I let, especially people in front of me, go and get their shit. I waited. The lady was in like the aisle kitty corner to me, one row up. I waited. She was on her phone texting for a while, and now things were moving. So I was like, well, sorry, bitch. I'm not going to wait till you're good and ready.
Yeah.
So I got up and I got my stuff down, and she forced her way into the one aisle where someone's standing. She just forced her way in while I was standing there. And she kept bending over, and I could feel her butt cheeks like spreading on my thigh. And I was like, I don't like this at all. And she kept doing it. I'm like, do you mind just not bending over until I pass you? And she's like, oh, that's okay. And I was like, I can feel your butt cheeks spreading on my thigh.
Literally, you said, I can feel your butt cheeks.
Because she was looking at me so weird. I'm like,
then, Your Honor, she said, I can feel your butt cheeks spreading on my thigh.
And I said, you've bent over like 4 times, and it feels like you're kind of doing it to make space. It just seems there's not any space here.
It's boxing you out.
Yeah. And she was like, well, you shouldn't have jumped up and got your stuff. I was in the aisle in front of you. And I said, I tried to wait for you. You were sending an email, and I'm not your secretary. So I'm not going to wait for you. If you don't jump up in it.
I don't know if you needed to throw in the secretary, because I've never had people wait for me to send an email. Will doesn't wait. Will's my secretary.
Will comes late. No,
and he doesn't wait for nothing.
He don't wait for. So then I said, well, I did. I checked in with you. You were texting something while everyone was getting up. So I stood up, and then she was like, you're free to go in front of me. I'm like, I know. I'm going to do that. And then I did. And then she said, fucking bitch, when I passed her. And I was like, don't call me a bitch. And she was behind me at this point. I was like, don't call me a bitch. You were being a bitch first. Goodbye. She was like, no, I didn't call you a bitch. I'm like, okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, you're also a bitch. You're a butt-spreading bitch. Bye. And then
Your Honor.
No, stop. Stop putting me on record.
Okay.
Well, so then I walked out, and when they're like, goodbye, bye. She was like, in front of, as soon as we got to the flight attendant, she was like, this woman called me a bitch. You don't act like that in our country. Something like that. And I was like, oh, your country? Didn't you just fly here from a different country? And then
this is
did
she have an American accent or
no? She was
Irish
Irish.
Accent?
I just
got it.
My accent's very bad.
No, I know, but she had a British accent.
No, it's Irish the whole time.
Okay.
God damn it. It's just not a good accent.
Ooh.
Okay, so we came from
Sorry,
another
my apologies, listeners.
We came from another country, and we landed in Ireland, and that's when she said, she was coming from America, actually.
Yeah.
So that's when she made that comment, and then I just said to her loudly, I'm like, you're a racist. And she was like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, you're a racist. That's fine. But don't try to get everyone on your side because I'm not Irish. That's weird. Like, this has nothing to do with behavior in someone's country. And then, so when we were walking through the, you have to do the long walk to like passport control.
The longest walk.
It was long for her. She eventually got in front of me. I'm like, you're a racist, by the way. I wouldn't stop.
You wouldn't drop it.
I said it.
Pulled a Neal.
She was like, all of a sudden, she was like, leave me alone. I told you I didn't want to tell this story. And I was like, I just want you to know you're racist. At some point, someone has to tell you what you said was racist. I didn't like what you said. She was like, tell this lady to leave me alone. I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong. You're a racist. And then she went down an escalator, and then she looked back, and I was like, you're racist. And she was just, what's going on?
By the way,
this
is the kind of story I want you to tell, because it's got everything I need, which is pettiness,
so
vindictiveness, and racism. Is there a chance she would have not said it if you were white?
Well, she said, if I really try to remember, she said something like, can you believe this woman's...
Latinx bitch?
No, she said something like, you don't behave that way in our country. We don't behave like something like, if you can behave that way in your country, you don't behave that way in our country. She called me a bitch.
Ghetto?
Huh?
In your filthy ghetto? Did she say that?
And then she like goes to the flight attendants who are just like, goodbye. She's like, can you believe she called me a bitch? I'm like, what? That was, the undertone felt like, nah, bitch, not in my country. And
right.
I was like,
I don't.
okay.
I,
but you called me a bitch
first. Could have been xenophobic. and not been racist.
Yeah, but I wasn't gonna get technical.
Look, why? Yeah, why be specific when you can just blanket call somebody a racist, right? Everyone.
Well, if you don't know them and they're being a dick and you're already gonna be petty, it's like,
Right,
well,
let's go
why
all
are
the
we?
way.
Let's
turn on all my petty points.
I don't
Yes,
know.
I would like to solve the puzzle. You're a racist.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when someone's in front of you in a plane,
Yeah.
do you?
No, I'm not. You get a 10-second grace period, and then
10 seconds. Okay.
once
I did think, I'm like, well, what did you want me to do? I waited. I rethought about it. And when she kept putting her butt on me, it was like the fourth time. And I was
this
like,
is a
lady,
case of it would
there's
pay,
no room here.
It would help women's interactions if you were a little bit afraid of getting popped in the face. That's the thing that keeps male interactions in place like that, where it'll be like, oh, yeah, sorry, man, because we don't want to fight. We literally like, okay,
you're like, let's avoid.
This is 2 moves away from, it's 1 move away from fist fighting.
Right.
So we need to de-escalate.
Yeah, that's true.
With women, there's no, it's all you're just
it's like, yeah, dare
well,
you.
that's why. Fuck,
Right.
you're racist. Well, you're a fucking foreigner.
Right.
It's just like, what happened here? Whereas the guy would have been like, all right, cool, man. You want to get by? Cool.
Right. It was very like, well, the thing is, I actually thought she was just that, like a simpleton, like, your butt is on me. I don't know you, lady.
Yeah.
And it's the aisle. So there's really not that much room. And then when she said, well, and that's when I was like, oh, that was a retaliation. Like, we're hippos shitting in front of each other to like mark our territory. Like,
Yeah.
That's when I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I can be petty. Do please
Yeah.
try me, please.
Yeah.
But I've also been in a fight. And I
Probably
don't
not that recently.
in my adult life.
All right. I guess you got to tell the story. I don't see what
I'm
choice we
absolutely
have.
not going to say no. I'm not telling you that. But the point is that
That's behind the paywall. If you want to hear the Bianca's fight story,
go to our Patreon.
Patreon.
Patreon. Step into our page. Okay, so no, I've been in a fight, but I don't like fighting. I felt terrible.
No, you didn't like it. No, nobody liked it.
But no, there are dudes
There
that
are,
have
like,
been in
there's
fights that there are girls and guys who are like, you want some? Like,
No, there are, they're fucking roid heads, like
Yeah.
meathead Italian. There's like, yes, you can pick them out. He likes fighting. Like, there are a certain group of people that like fighting, but most men don't want to fight.
No,
They don't want to fight.
I think I just wanted. I thought the moment I said like, "Hey, man," like I just think I'm a direct. Like if we have a problem, I'm gonna be, "Oh no, excuse me." I was like, "I can feel your butt cheek spreading on my thigh." Like that's uncomfortable for me. Would you like to feel a guy's butt cheek spreading on your thigh? No.
No, but I'd love to feel the ladies behind the Patreon wall. Behind
now
the
you know my
mossy
bad story.
Patreon wall.
Okay, now you know my story.
Also, I got the greatest vegan shit I've ever had this week
Okay,
at
what
a
is
place
it?
called Wolfie's.
Wait, I'm gonna go after
It's
because
on
you were
York.
so.
It's on York in Highland Park in LA, which is a great neighborhood, by the way. Like, I'd never really been there. And I did a stand-up show there a couple.
Oh, wait, Highland Park?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, it's
hell's
right
hella
next to
far?
Silver Lake.
No, it's not.
Okay. It's 8 minutes from Silver Lake?
No. It's
No,
like,
that it is because I drove to Silver Lake.
Okay, I don't know
afterward.
what route you took. But
The
from
8-minute
downtown,
route.
I don't know what time. Was it at nighttime?
Yeah, during a fucking
Pandemic?
yes.
Sure, yeah,
So
sure, it
yes,
was-
it's all
I'm
very
surprised it
close.
wasn't there
It's not
5
far.
minutes.
It's not far from Venice during pandemic.
See, now you could date that girl that lived in Highland
No,
Park.
still not worth it.
Wait, Neal was like seeing his girl in Highland Park, and at some point the distance just became total.
I
the
don't
whole
even
thing.
bother if I match with a girl on an app that lives in Silver Lake. It's literally like, oh well, this is never gonna.
He's like, it's basically long distance. I
It's
was like,
she
Neal,
lives in Oakland.
She's worth it. Fight for her.
Fuck out of here. We got more letters. We got a bunch of letters like that coming
Okay,
up. I got
sorry.
some. My thoughts on marriage have only gotten worse.
Okay.
We
Songs,
also got
yeah.
some songs.
The
Oh, that's
Oh, I was
song
like,
song.
whoa. Let us get into it.
It should just be the end, but that's the guy who puts too much garbage in his.
I know, like.
Like 5. What about 5 sauces, buddy?
Let's layer it.
Barbecue sauce. But what about
Oh,
teriyaki?
no. Mango. No one wants mango.
Oh, you piece of shit. Which song is this?
The kids on ukulele.
Oh yeah, they're all theme songs,
No, but
right?
what's the theme of it?
They're all just theme songs.
They're all
of
HowNealFeel
us.
themes.
Oh, cool, dope.
How Neal feel? How baby thinking? How Neal feel? How baby thinking? How Neal feel? How baby thinking? Hey, 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 hey. How Neal feel? How baby thinking? How Neal feel? How baby thinking? How Neal feel? How baby thinking? Hey, hey, hey.
I like the
I
spirit
love
of
it.
it.
No,
It works
it's-
across the board.
It's so good.
Structurally, you can
How
chop
do
it
you
up.
feel?
What
Oh,
pinky
pinky, pinky.
dinky? They fucked it up.
They
They
fucked
were
it up so many
adorable.
times.
The children, they're my ghost
I love
children.
them.
I'll never have them. But
No.
thank you for your songs, children.
Oh my God, they're so cute.
Great. How would you describe this one, Will?
Trouble in the Winter Circle Guy theme song.
Great.
How Neal feel.
That's great.
Really nice.
That is great.
So
That reminds
really
me of like
nice.
Tim and Eric vibes.
It's 70s
70s,
sitcom.
like.
With a
From
ring. That's when you cut to the
That is
exterior.
so good.
Cut to the exterior of my house.
Right.
Perfect. Beautiful.
And you on the couch.
Yeah. Hey, Bianca. Ding dong. Okay, great. Next song, please. How would you
This
just?
is Eric Johnson, the How Neal Feel harmonic.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some like choral. Some of these songs are unbelievable. Go ahead, please.
That is like, I don't know, Father of the Bride, some like 90s like Christmas themed movie.
Yeah, or it's like The Omen. One or the other. There's a better choral version. I can't believe someone outdid Eric Johnson, but someone outdid Eric Johnson.
Okay.
Christopher Bill outdid him.
That's
That
so good.
literally creeps me out
Why?
because it's like too powerful.
It's amazing.
Like don't do that.
Oh, I love it.
No,
What's
of
wrong-
course it's,
but it's too
absolutely
much.
fantastic, but
It's
it's
like-
just too much. It's this. If I were a narcissist, I would love that. I'd be like, that's the perfect song right there. But as just a selfish person, it makes me a little uncomfortable because it's too grandiose.
It's great.
It's wonderful. Christopher Bill, Eric Johnson. Can you believe
CB.
Eric Johnson, the 5-time
competition.
champion,
Yeah.
gets unseated only in the choral division. All the other songs are fantastic. Anyhow, we're 23 minutes into a podcast. We haven't even talked about the Earth.
Good job, Will.
Will, thank you, buddy. Now, is there another song?
It's
Seemed like there was.
It's not one. There's no words.
Oh yeah, it's too
Wait,
sad.
that's beautiful.
It's sad.
Sad. Everything's sad. Oh,
Jimmy Carr said that he almost cried listening to my mom's rules today. He texted me.
Oh, my mom was
I know, it's so funny.
extremely upset. She was like,
Sorry,
he didn't
guys.
have love.
You guys, sorry.
He was shown no love. I was like,
Jimmy's
I'm
like,
so-
don't get me wrong, I like the results, but I got a bit choked up. That's just how I read his text.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
I like what I'm seeing. Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I haven't even gotten to the, but we'll do a dumb person later.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about the debates. Now, going into the debates,
Just
I made a couple predictions. You can't, but as much as everyone thinks he lost, that's
you
exactly
were wrong.
No. That's exactly what I thought he would do. Biden didn't win. Biden
Nobody
only
won.
looked good because Trump
Is it
looks so
fucking dumpster-
fucking bad.
Neal, that's not what you said. You said he's gonna win the debate, and you text me while it was happening. He's winning.
He was winning. I'm still
didn't
not
win.
convinced he didn't win.
No, he didn't win. Because this is my measure of knowledge.
Yes.
So after debates, I go on to all these conservative websites and subreddits, and they were having problems defending him. There was like, I love trying to avoid him. I mean, it was kind of fucked up. Like, it was a lot of like high voices on
Yeah.
the Reddit, like our conservative. I went on, I'm like, it was It was very hard. No, there wasn't a lot of like, great job, Trump.
No, I don't.
2020.
My point was that quiet looks bad next to energy.
I get that, but also
I
the
think he
laughing
misplayed it in that
The over talking was.
he misplayed it in that when Biden talked, I wasn't like,
No. Right.
Biden missed like so many opportunities.
Biden-
Biden missed every opportunity.
He could have been like, that's a $750 question. Like, fucking.
I'm not
get
even
it
talking
back.
about zingers because
No,
somebody
zing-
actually texted a great zinger or emailed a great zinger when Trump asked Biden how he was going to come up with the $100 trillion to finance his climate change policy. If Biden could have just said, I'm going to make Mexico pay for it.
Zinger, great.
Zing zang.
But we've already established that these are, you kind of do got to do zingers.
Yes. Biden kind of can't though. Meaning
No,
he's
too,
not
like-
a good he tried the
He's
problem
stiff.
Biden is one of these guys who's trying to do like the spelling bee version of answers and it's like, dog, what's the answer? You don't mean like, well, one out of every
I
one out
know.
of every million. Okay, you got black people. And then you get 1 million of them. And then one of them's going to die. And you're like, dude, you just don't say. His handlers should all keep him away from
Statistics.
stats and like, did you know? I don't
The
give a
best
shit.
was like, he doesn't have a plan, the coronavirus stuff, when he could
Yes.
really finish a thought. I was like,
Yeah.
good enough.
Yes, it still wasn't good, which
Good
was
enough,
yes,
said.
yeah, no, exactly.
Wasn't
So that's what I'm saying. Like, Biden didn't win. Trump
No,
didn't win either.
No winners there.
There was a tie for second.
But
Congratulations.
Trump could have, that's when I was like, this really was, if we were really, really wanted to beat Trump, why wasn't there a young person besides Buttigieg? Like, Buttigieg, I'm not talking about him. I'm like, a young, charming person could have annihilated Trump. Where are the young, charming people that want to be president in the Democratic Party? Where are they?
If you become a politician, you're already disqualified. You don't. Any charisma you have is going to be used for personal gain. There's no incentive. There's not. People don't. I can't think of anybody who wants to, like, do it for the right reasons. Like Dave's stepbrother Ben Jealous ran for governor of Maryland and lost, but he wanted to do it for the right reasons. But apparently, the voters, he wasn't charismatic. I'm assuming he wasn't charismatic. I don't know what happened.
Right.
To be charismatic, to be all that stuff, no one ever uses charisma for the right reasons. It's not. It's, occasionally you'll get an MLK. MLK, in a weird way, isn't that charismatic. He's pretty charismatic, but he's not, like, dripping with charisma. He's dripping with authenticity, and he's dripping with Christianity, but he's not
I think
like,
there's
I
different-
have to fuck him tonight. Like,
No, but I'm there's different types of charisma. You know what I mean? You could be a nun and, have no sex appeal, none of that, and still be really charismatic
Yeah.
and just powerful. Speaker,
I don't think it's impossible, but there are very few people that are charismatic that don't go, I can make a fucking $1 zillion off of this.
Yeah.
Why would I?
Yeah,
and-
you have a little bit of like when you go to like I don't know, like a
Carnival?
theme park or a carnival, and you have a front of line pass.
Yeah.
Or farther up in the
Yes,
line.
yes. That's what I said a couple weeks ago. It's the most valuable human resource you can possibly have. I'm now convinced. It's not even close. Charisma. So you've got Joe Biden, who kind of used to be charismatic. He was a little bumbling. There's a good front line, by the way. I watched the front line, The Choice 2020. And it's mostly about their characters. And it's a reminder that everyone forgets that the church Trump used to go to was Norman Vincent Peale, the prosperity gospel. It sounds like some Southern shit. The
Yeah.
guy's church was in Manhattan,
Okay.
and that was Trump's home church. And the guy's whole thing was about, like, think positively and all that. Like, people always forget that. They started bringing it up again this week because of the front line. I heard it on NPR or the Daily, the New York Times thing. But because I'm a total liberal cuck simp.
This week on the Daily. Does he talk like that normally?
No, they told him Michael Barbaro,
Right.
the thing,
Yeah.
he did because he wouldn't do
well,
anything. He wouldn't do anything, and the producers were like, you have to respond.
Oh, it was just like dead air.
Yeah. So now we're stuck with
But just like this week on.
Oh
the
yeah, that's just
Daily.
radio shit.
Okay.
So now the polls are flat. The polls I've heard about, since they're flat from the last week. Biden's up a little bit,
Right.
but Trump didn't get a bounce from that, that corona bounce that everyone gets.
Yeah. no.
Everyone's like, he's like the British prime minister, where he's trying to do it, and then everyone rallied around him. It's like,
like, you
first of all,
guys
you think
stop.
these thinks outside of 8-second intervals? The
Yeah.
guy can't fucking.
There's
he's-
no strategy.
There's no strategy. It's just, what's the thing
going on right now?
Yes, every moment. What's the most advantageous thing for me? For me. For
Right.
me. For me. For me. The funny thing is, to me, watching, it's all women that are turning on him. Those are the people he's losing,
Yeah.
poll wise. Again, I'll believe it when I see it. It's like, who did you think he was?
Right. That's weird when people turn on him. It's like,
Yeah, now you don't like him? What part of grab him by the pussy? That was before the election. It
That
just
was
speaks to
before the
a
election.
weird, just a misogyny that
that
cannot
doesn't-
be overstated.
Well, also the misogyny doesn't only come from men. I mean, women are
No,
just
especially.
as misogynist.
No, but
misogynistic.
that's the. I was talking to somebody about I'll be long dead, but when different oppressed groups, women, when either the group gets power or they just get enough people, that you'll see that you have problems that have nothing to do with white men. Just human fucking impulses that, like, women in a closed environment are weird with women. Like female relationships, see also your airplane ride, are very complicated, and they're
okay. What do
they're
you think that's a
very
reflection of?
complex. I think it's a.
That was I think that I felt
No,
like
no,
that
I don't
had less
think
to do
that-
with women than that was just two
who knows
people
what that
being-
is? Yeah, that's
I was
just two people scrapping. That's two people out along with who got stinky pits and feet.
and butt crack.
Yes, and butt cracks. She's rubbing it on your thighs.
Oh, no, my thighs.
You don't mind if I masturbate. I think that it's some cave shit. Honestly, I think it just is cave shit. I think it's some queen bee shit. It's some women like shit a certain way, and they don't want another woman's input. It's the mother-in-law problem. It's the daughter problem. It's just the problem. It's the mom problem. I think women weirdly, in my experience, I mean, there's known for like better group dynamics,
Yeah, that's why.
but individually, it's not great.
You know what's weird though? I've almost rarely I have gotten in a fight with from woman to woman. I have so few problems with women, whether it's friends, strangers. I always try to, like, at some point there's a line with anyone where it's like, okay, I'm not a punk. So now
Yeah.
we have a real problem. But most of the time I've only gotten in arguments with men. Strictly. Like even at work,
I believe that.
any work, any and every environment I've ever had like conflict with, it's only been men and not women. So I don't know. I don't see an example of that, but
It's
I
the
have a lot of
female
friends.
boss thing.
Yeah.
It's a female boss thing. It's just that women are complicated additions to things.
But do you,
I don't think that people are dying for Kamala to be the president. Honestly, I think zero conservatives will be, including women,
Right.
will be excited if she has to become president. And Joe Biden, if nothing else, looks incredibly healthy. And I think liberal women are cool with it.
yeah.
I think liberal men are fine with it. But
It's
I don't
also
think
'cause
anyone's
she's the-
gacked. I think Hillary was way more qualified. I think she is qualified, but Hillary was like wildly qualified.
Yeah, Hillary is qualified, but it's not about
But
qualification.
she wasn't cute.
No, it's not about Well, did you see that smile? Did you see that smile?
Which one?
She'd be like, remember when she starts doing these
She's
selfies?
if you learn about her, she's a fucking interesting.
No, I think she's interesting.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny when they tried to make her more
Yeah.
personal, and it was like, it was like,
Yeah.
no, she's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her smile with Kanye.
Yeah, but some people just don't have a great smile.
Isn't that so funny how they're taking selfies with them and then with Trump? Why is Kanye West in? Like, I just think it's funny. You could be so famous and somehow you're a stone's throw away from the president. Why? There's
'Cause
always
they
a weird
want the
relationship with celebrities.
They want the
and
reflective glory
the president.
each way. At a certain point, celebrities only want to spend time with celebrities because everyone else is beneath them. They'll never say that.
Yeah, I know.
But they don't. They want to spend time with celebrities because it means they're still famous.
Yeah.
It's like it's like getting your passport stamp. Like, I'm still famous, Mr. President. Yes, you are.
Right.
Kanye. Yes, you are. And then fucking everybody goes on. Hillary doesn't have a great smile. She's a little like cockeyed smile. So sorry, lady. Now, men, Obama had a great smile.
Yeah.
Bush had a fine smile. I've never thought about people's smiles.
Bush is a goofy ass smile.
Bill Clinton's smile's not great.
His was great. He looked like he was having a great time. Bush smile, ooh, not good.
It's cute.
Look at that one.
He's a
Looks
cutie.
like an Ewok.
Yeah. Is that Ellen?
It's
How'd
your
Ellen
friend.
get in here? I stand by thinking that Hillary's more qualified, and there's no reason why I think people, if Kamala becomes president, I think no one's going to apologize to Hillary.
But the problem is Hillary is more qualified than Trump. So
Yeah.
it's obviously not about
Well,
qualifications, right?
Mike Keith is more qualified than Trump, in her defense. No, of course she was more qualified, but I was
So-
thinking today, like the process is fucking warped.
Yeah, it's
Where
really
we should
archaic.
pick the president. We should literally get a list of like 100 people, and it should be like some lady who works at the hospital and some people that are smart in whatever field, and we like surprise them with it. Like the
Oh, that's
prize
awful.
patrol.
Like a publisher's clearinghouse.
Yes, you're the president, because running for it is you end up with Trump, and it's like this can't be.
But the problem is, like, okay, if you look at other countries, their political process, most
It's
people have
3 weeks.
It's like 3 weeks, a month.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think we get so obsessed. We believe our own hype. America's just like
TV show.
the president.
That was the TV show. Now you're going to the Hollywood. You're
Right.
going to the DC round. Hi, you're going to DC. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's the reality show of it,
Yeah.
which is why Homeboy won. Like, because he's fucking the greatest reality wrestling character of all time.
But it's not surprising when you think that Arnold Schwarzenegger won the governor's seat of California by saying like, "You are a
You're
man boy."
terminated.
You're
Yeah.
like just dumb catchphrases.
Yes.
People are like, "He's funny."
Yeah. Right. That's not a reason to.
No, but it happened even here in California where we think we're so fucking smart.
I don't think. Who thinks California's smart? I don't know anyone. who
No,
thinks
I mean we
California's smart.
think of ourselves as very liberal and on
Speaking
the right
for yourself,
side of things.
I don't. I
You
would
think you're
never,
liberal.
literally, never say California's smart. I think like there have been some decent leaders, but I don't think that it's like what we do. We politically we pick the right people.
No.
Pete, what the fuck is his name? Pete Williams or fucking Pete Davis? Some fucking Whiteman, Pete Whiteman.
Whiteman.
Gray Davis. Holy
Davis.
shit, what a white name. So I watching it, I thought they need the spatula.
They needed this
The
spatula, something.
aggression that I still think being aggressive. I'll believe it when the votes are in. Because I truly will. Because I don't trust polls. I don't trust. All I know is, to use the stand-up analogy, Biden didn't kill, and Trump had a ton of energy. He misused it. He completely squandered it, and was He went. It was the worst. He went from being a rich guy for 40 years to being rich and powerful, and having to argue with somebody. And
he's
if
like-
there's one thing I know, rich, powerful people don't want to argue with anybody. They want to say it, and then they want that to be the law.
Yeah.
And so that's what a lot of it was like. This waiter's,
Right.
who was this waiter? Why are these waiters talking to me? That's literally like, what? So he couldn't let them finish without it. Like, what? No, I can cut you off. I should legally be able to cut you off.
Trump's was like, Biden didn't kill, and Trump is like one of those sets where it starts off okay, and then it just, you lose the audience, and you got to get him back, so you double down. Like, let's say there's one weird interaction with an audience member, and then the energy kind of drops, and you double, triple down, and you eventually bomb. I'd say he eventually bombed.
Here's what I'll say to the same. It was the same way he was in 2016. It was more cutoffs.
It was crazier. It was on.
No, of course, but it wasn't. There were more cutoffs. But what I'm saying is, he said awful shit to Hillary.
Yeah.
The same way he said to Biden. It's just misogyny accepted it with Hillary, and with Biden, we're like, that's a fucked up say about somebody's son.
I think it was because we didn't know, we weren't used to it. It was more now fresh in our minds. Like, it was like, oh, what is he doing? And he let her speak a little bit, so he could come in between what she said, like false, and then it kind of, he volleyed with her. He was in control of like what she was saying more.
Wrong.
And then when he agreed, he'd be like, true. I'm like, what do you, don't cut her off to agree.
Yeah,
So
no,
then
we should, it was
there was
better,
some
even though he
finessing.
did say, I'm going to put you in jail.
Yeah.
You're right, it was very...
No, it was, there
the
wasn't.
tone
You
was,
know
the
what I'm
tone
saying.
was different. The
Tone was different. The moment was
words
a
were...
lot less serious. He would seem so much more irritated.
He was just out. He couldn't believe these fucking waiters.
Yeah.
Why is this caddy and this waiter talking to me?
Yeah.
So it's like he's outraged that they're even countering. Like, what? And now I have a controversial theory about the Proud Boys thing. I think I'm a proud boy. I'm good. I'm just proud to be a boy.
A bad boy.
I'm a proud bad boy.
Bad boy.
The thing of stand back and stand by, whatever the fuck he said, I think he was just talking. I really don't think that was a call to action. I think it was like stand off, I think he was literally just like stand over, stand down.
Don't make an excuse for him. That was,
I don't,
stand by?
No.
The fuck stand by doesn't
The
mean go away.
excuse is
and stop.
I don't think he was telling them to. Maybe I'm naive. I
Stand
honestly
by.
don't think. I think he was just saying like stand down, stand through, stand. I think he was
He
just
didn't say those
putting
things.
adjectives
The comments
or
leading
whatever
up to
a modifier. What's by? What's down?
that,
by
it's
something.
Isn't it an adverb?
It's not important. It's really not important. No. Oh,
Preposition.
shit. Preposition.
So what was said before was like, are you because they're coming in from out of town. That was what they were saying. So are you going to talk to them because they are also agitating the like protests and stuff like that? Are you going to tell them? Are you going to condemn them coming from out of town and stirring up trouble? To that point, he said, "Stand down and stand by." It's like,
I don't think he said it like that. He said,
what'd he
stand down, stand by. He was kind of like, whatever kind of standing you want, play it.
Yeah.
He didn't say stand by and stand by.
okay, you know what?
He didn't
Play
say it like that.
Play the video.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared
to do
specifically
that, but
do it? Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists
Who
and
would
right
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
Just like stand back. I don't, that's not
Neal.
does that look like a guy who's making a call to action? Stand back and
I
stand
didn't say.
by.
I'm not. I don't think he's like stand by Proud Boys, but
that's
he
how
can't,
people are taking
But
it.
he couldn't condemn it, and if you can't condemn it, he's just gonna like flubbly
Yeah, but
go
again,
through
this is
something.
a guy who's doesn't say anything. Everything's flubbed.
But even I think it was Kellyanne Conway said that it wouldn't be good for him to condemn white supremacists because they vote
Of course,
for him.
there's people.
So,
He's
call
an
to action.
absolute white supremacist. He's an absolute piece of shit. I wouldn't put that in my top 5 examples. I think that was a speaking error. We're never going to agree on this.
No. Wait, hold on. What's the error? He was saying what? What do you
He was
think?
literally like,
what do you
stand
think-
back and stand by. I think he was just like, fucking I repudiate you. Just like stand back and stand by.
I think he was just trying not to say anything against them.
Right. People were saying stand by meant be ready on my command, which I still don't read it as that.
I agree. I don't think he's saying guys
on
But
my
the problem is that because he can't even condemn them,
Of course.
that when you go and you say anything else, it just is a call to action without you.
This is again
You know what I
speaks to the somehow he's different now. Like, well, he won't condemn. He said Mexicans, they come here, they're rapists. He said there's perfectly good people on both sides. Like there's way better examples. The way he's known is from a class action, a housing is like that's how he came into the game. That's his first album is a fucking housing discrimination suit. Like that's his fucking Ready to Die. So I think now he doesn't that's what he does.
Right.
And the fact that people voted for him before is insane. So now you're expecting, like, if you still vote for him, nothing's changed. Was he more? He said the Charlottesville thing in a press conference in his building. He didn't say it to Bob Woodward. He said it with the cameras on. Like, so now I think this has got to be final straw. It's like there's no final straw with this guy.
Yeah.
It's all straws. It's just it's McDonald's. You push the thing and one straw comes out and it will never end. And it is endless. But then you know what happened?
What?
He caught the coronavirus.
No.
Did I say
It's
last
Crohn's.
week?
What?
I think I said the thing about why Democrats are just taking as long as they can, right?
No.
Because they're just hoping someone will die. Did I not say that?
No.
Oh, I must have said it on the phone. I get confused. I
He did?
say it, yeah.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said the reason why Democrats are using every procedure they can is just so someone dies. Their only
remember that. I'm sorry.
their only recourse is Republicans die. That's why I texted you. This is what I was talking about, because it's like, let's just take as long as we can, and
Right. They all got sick.
yeah, well, yeah, they all tested positive. Some got sick. Some got degrees of sick.
Degrees of sickness. But it's like Chris Christie, Kellyanne
But
Conway.
it's the senators. Those are the ones you want. Really, you want the special
Cough
stuff
on
for
the
that.
senators.
Tom
Jello.
Tills. Yeah, like those are the guys that.
Yeah.
And they're
Jordan.
saying like it's the
Jim Jordan.
No, Jim Jordan didn't get it.
He was just
He's-
in the thing. He was there.
I don't even know if he was at the Amy Coney Barrett thing.
I thought I
But
saw a
mean, it's
graphic
fucked
of
up that
all
they
of them.
snubbed him. He should have been there.
He's the number one
Um,
mascot.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, you just gotta hope. Just take as long as you can. That's why business affairs is slow. Fucking hoping you die.
Yeah.
You know how much interest you get on the amounts of money these people pay out? Like if a company can hold the money for as long as they can, don't fucking this is slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
gotta-
a new paycheck company.
We got a thing.
So
right. We switched accounting firms.
no, we want to approve Amy Coney Barrett. Just there's a close up party.
Apparently, because he got sick, that they can't pass her through because
But this is debatable. This is there. It's
There's
harder.
It's harder, but then there's the senators.
It's harder, but again, there's hard, and then there's like Mitch McConnell. Like you can't.
Well, okay, they all have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yes, and then they come back on October 19th, and Democrats now have to do shit where they're like, we don't feel safe.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to do some shit, some conniving shit, which is fine.
It's all conniving.
Yes, the whole thing's the whole body is conniving. So bless them. Wait it out. See what happens.
Yeah.
Just like I don't want people to die. That's another. I was arguing with Trayvon and Roy this week about Trayvon had some we'll run memes by each other like, hey, is this fucked up? And there were a few people. Trayvon didn't have them, but he sent us a meme where it was like, if Trump die. It was like Trump dies is good, and I was kind of a little scoldy, where I was like, you can't hope for someone to die, even like Hitler. Okay, like you gotta. Death to me is like the one thing that you cannot publicly wish on somebody.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
And then there's a guy, I want to say,
no one leaves feeling good. Some of the memes for me, I'm like, I don't know. I like my mom. Like, I don't want to wish. Like, I love I have so many people in my life. I want someone to wish death upon them. I get really superstitious.
It's too villainy.
I get too superstitious.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
just it's mad villainy. It's like
yeah.
I don't think that's good. And Roy, so sometimes it'll be like me and Roy are in our 40s, Trayvon's in his 30s, and Trayvon's just woker than me and Roy. And like,
is Trayvon hot?
I don't know. But I feel like very old where I'm like, nah, brother. Like,
Oh, you
look
feel
here.
like the
We feel like,
elder?
let me pull your coat here. Where
Does he
Roy,
listen?
yeah, where Roy had to come up with like, no, that's bad juju. He literally wrote bad juju. Like, no, we don't do that. Young blood.
I'm like, no.
Like, you can't wish death upon somebody. It's too fucking severe. And,
Someone keeps sending me. They made a joke, and I was like, oh, LOL. Like,
hey,
not about
Yeah.
him dying. Just like, oh my God, he got corona.
yeah.
I didn't say LOL, but it's in that tone. And so he keeps sending me memes that one aren't funny and two are like
Are
just
getting
straight
worse?
up like
He's
they're
working
just-
the algorithm on you,
I'm
where he's
just
just sending you more extreme.
I'm like, well, I don't need these sent to me,
Yeah.
you know? And I will say though, it is funny that there's now a debate of it's not cool to wish death upon him. And
Well,
then people
Twitter-
are like,
Twitter-
well,
Twitter made a rule where you can't openly wish death on somebody. It's like, okay,
Oh,
this
but
is
what about-
you guys are a 12-year-old platform, so this is the first time people have wished death on somebody.
and
Twitter?
someone was making the point of all the things they do allow and all the racist and most disgusting shit they're allowed. But it's like death on a sick person. No, you've gone too far
That's
now.
the.
So
I,
that's
but
the-
I'm on their side.
I'm on their side, but why stand like where is the line?
Well, my thing with the whole argument is like not death on a sick person, but
I mean that's what it is. It's death on a sick person.
that's so Trump. I'm just looking at my news updates. Trump left the hospital,
Yeah, he was discharged.
and then the White House has refused to accept proposed FDA guidelines that could delay an emergency vaccine approval until after the election. So they're basically going like, no, we're not going to wait. It's like, it's 5 fucking weeks, dummies.
Did you get the vaccine? Nope.
Yeah, well, I think
Guarantee
once
you
you're
won't.
sick, it's too late.
But also, dude, did you see the side effects with those vaccines? Fuck that.
Oh, I saw today that there's severe side effects for some of them.
Like neurological disorders.
Yeah.
It like attacked this lady's spine or something like that.
My goodness, I heard it was rubbing its butt cheeks. It openly rubbing its butt cheeks. The vaccine was openly rubbing its butt cheeks on a lady's thigh. And you want to talk about side effects? So Trump got the Rona. The great thing about Trump is he's behaviorally so insane that you can't even imagine what he's going to do. You know what's going to be awful.
Right.
You know it will be awful. It'll be dumb. One part dumb, one part awful. When he ghost rode the whip.
That was so stupid. And you know what? I heard that because the car is meant to survive like a
Yeah,
chemical
they're all
attack.
trapped.
It's the worst
Hermetically
place in the
sealed
world
inside.
for corona.
You're in a hazmat suit with him.
Yeah, and you can't. The virus is literally can't escape through like
No.
a vent or a window.
It's a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
You're inside. It's like a
sleeping
fucking
bag.
bubble boy, and there's 8 of you, and you're. But
Why was
that's what
that?
I mean. Like he's like the Michael
Fucking
Jackson, Jimi Hendrix of fucking. Like, what did you do?
Yeah.
What?
The Jimi Hendrix.
You got to
of what
hear this, Marvin Berry. It's Marvin Berry. You got to hear what this motherfucker did. This is also it's a case of not all I call Trump the Dave did a joke where he said Trump is like he's a Twitter troll as president.
Yeah.
I think he is the embodiment of the comment section.
100%.
Meaning, if I'm near you if I'm like, people will hit at me on Twitter and it's like, oh, you're mistaking proximity on this app for proximity in intelligence, talent,
Right.
whatever. But that's what the whole everything is now. Where I was listening to somebody talk who was like, her job was like barista, whatever, just like a whatever, not dumb, but not like, fuck, how'd you get that job? And she was talking about coronavirus, and it's like, why would I listen to you over Dr. Anthony Fauci, a guy who's dedicated his life to infectious diseases? Why do you think your opinion is as valuable as his?
Yeah.
And it's because in the social media economy, her opinion is as valuable as his. If it can get likes,
Yeah.
by the way, it doesn't even have to get likes. Likes will just turn the person into a monster. If I comment under a Fauci clip, well, I've done it.
Right.
I'm as powerful as Fauci. I know as much about infectious diseases as Fauci, the guy who was roommates with AIDS, the guy who was knows more about infectious.
Right.
Like, people don't know how big the difference is. And I wish we'd explored this more with Blake when he was here. The amount that they know about basketball, Carmelo, professional basketball players.
Oh.
Carmelo Anthony was on a JJ Redick, another basketball player's podcast, and hearing him talk about like Phil Jackson's triangle and JJ just throwing, and you're just like, oh, I don't know any of this.
They
just know the backside pick, that guy feeds the basket, then this guy, and they're talking about it like the way I would talk about stand-up or anything that they have a complete facility with. And everyone thinks, no basketball fan thinks that.
No. They think
they
they're
wouldn't
just
even
like,
know.
"Duh."
In fact, I asked Blake about something, and about the Clippers, I think, or a team, and he just wrote back like a paragraph, and I forwarded it to Rock, and Rock's like, Jesus, he should coach, and I was like, he doesn't want to coach.
They
just
probably
know
could,
that,
yeah.
like Carmelo Anthony, who doesn't seem that bright, knows. They just know it's their business, and I wish one of them would just go, oh, what happened in the game? Okay, so our 4 couldn't match their 5. Like, just they could jargon. No commentators know it. Nobody knows it. It's fucking crazy. And I wish Fauci would do that, but it would just bum people out. It'd be like, oh man, fucking N1 and the R ratio and all. It's just it's just
like,
science shit. Where why do
very
science
sexy.
when I can be like Rand Paul and try to own you? And so you just end up with a bunch of people in the White House who are like this with everything, and it's rarely does something bite somebody on the ass this clearly. It hasn't bit someone on the ass this clearly since Callan and Schaub caught it. I like to think it was the same. It was the same strain, the same family.
Like I was talking to someone who is a professor in like African American studies and stuff like that, and she was saying. And then I read an article afterwards, and it's so interesting. The reason why Africa didn't get it as bad is because during Ebola, they had so many resources in play, and they had so many. They had just had so much set up already.
Same with a lot of Asian countries.
Yeah, because of the bird
SARS.
flu and SARS like that.
Yeah.
So, and then in Latin America, even with swine flu, I don't know, but I did hear that people didn't get rid of their pandemic.
They just folded it into the existing pandemic. I mean, I think some country Brazil got pummeled.
Yeah, but Brazil, in terms of government, is insanely disorganized.
It's Latinx Trump.
It's Latinx.
Latinx.
No, like this.
It's just it gets more racist with Latinx.
It does, but no one can say anything.
Mine. It is a gold mine.
We made it up.
No, we're saying the term they want. No, they said
Brazilian.
call us Latinx.
You dirty Latinx. Yeah, and that's when it's like, dude, explain that one. Explain the fact that Africa, we always look at Africa like sad. There's always a fly on someone's head and that they cannot get off. So sad, right? But Africa's excelling right now. They are not dying.
I mean, there's still
street.
like a lot of the roads aren't paved, but
No,
they
I
don't
didn't say
have
everything.
corona.
I'm saying pandemic is not taking them out like it is us.
Yes. Yeah.
It just makes you, I just want people, nobody that listens to this podcast, but I wonder, do people realize like the whole world got it? How could it come from somehow the Democrats? Or
Again,
how is it?
Smart people said, I think it'll end once the election comes. So 70,000 Brazilians died because of the American election.
Right.
Paris is shut down as of today because of the American election. But it's people going like, I know what it is. No, you don't. You can just. This is another argument that I had with Trayvon and young-blooded Trayvon.
We gotta have a name for them. Trayvon.
Yeah,
and Roy.
T-Roy.
Yeah.
But they were talking about. Oh, I don't think Trump has it.
That when people said that, I'm like, oh, dumb.
Yeah, like
dumb.
So
come on.
I said to Roy and Trayvon, I go, fellas, what?
Not a good sign.
What fucking? It's a higher form of buddy.
Yeah.
It's buddy 2.0.
He's never gotten
Fellas, what percentage of conspiracy theories in our lifetimes came true? Just I'll wait. Literally, tell me which one has borne out. I'll spot you the Tuskegee experiments, right? Which didn't even come out when it was happening. It came out way later.
Most of them, like most things that people wonder about. You know, that's
you know what nobody said about Trump getting it? Oh, he must have stood close to a 5G tower. Right. What the fuck happened to that conspiracy? You fucking polluters. You noise pollution motherfuckers that truly were talking it like they knew. Like they knew that 5G somehow was giving people a viral lung infection.
Also from internet infographics.
Yes.
We have to remember the source, the most trusted source of information. The amount of times I've gotten 5G infographics, I'm like, and I was like, I have 5G phone, it's Samsung. Everyone's like, oh my God. I'm like, it's not. What do you think is happening? What do they think is happening?
They think that somehow it's this. We've talked about conspiracy on here before, which is it's a better way. It's a form of religion. It allows people to believe that there's these great, very singular powers at play. It's the Bilderbergs or any of these people, and it gives them. It feels safe, whether you realize it or not. It's like, oh, in Bilderbergs we trust, or like, it's like a god, but they're corrupt somehow, as if they need to be corrupt. These fucking Bilderbergs, If you have $1 billion, you're making. If you have $1 billion, you're making so much money in interest every year. It's like you couldn't even spend the shit.
Yeah.
Or Bill Gates is trying to infect. The fuck are you talking about?
Dude.
The fuck are you talking? The motherfucker cleared Africa of malaria. Like, so what are you saying?
What I don't get is I feel like, and you probably have friends that look at the QAnon and all the conspiracy theories that come from the right and say, yeah, can you believe it? Those guys are fucking idiots. And then they're like, I don't think he has it.
Now.
I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
guys, can't only be idiotic when it's someone else that we don't agree with politically or,
It's all idiotic. As I would say, you don't need conspiracies when lobbyists can write legislation. Yeah. Full stop. It's so infuriating, especially when people that I like, somebody on the text and it was like, so you didn't fuck with what was the 9/11 one? Like the big one.
9/11, the sealed beams?
No, like there was a movie, Loose Change. So you didn't fuck with Loose Change.
Is that like those
It was
shitty,
like 100 million
like a
views.
zeitgeist.
Yeah, it was zeitgeist basically. It was like a zeitgeist Loose Change, and
I told you I was susceptible. No, I mean when I think I talked about it on the podcast, but when I saw the one about the Sandy Hook, and then I was like, what? No, what the fuck's that? And then I did it. I felt weird because I was like, oh, I'm really aligning myself with like a lot of like NRA people right now. Mm-hmm. Then I did a quick Google search of all the information, and it was all wrong. It was all
directly debunkable.
Wrong. But in that moment, when I see this, I'm just like, it's not. We can call them stupid, but if you're only getting your source from this one form, it's not. I mean, you're just believing something kind of convincing in front of you,
Right, but you know who never talks about conspiracies? Rich, powerful people.
Yeah, of course not.
Because they know how the fucking world works.
I'm just saying that, like, I can it.
No, it's because they got to cover up. No, they don't.
That's not.
They sure don't.
No, and I'm really embarrassed to admit that, but it was all of what I watched a few clips. I'm like, shut the fuck up. That sounds fucked up. Then I Googled it, and I'm like,
but no one does that second step.
But every time,
wait a minute.
Right, and my friends will send me Plandemic. They send me these. Literally, it said Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and someone photoshopped research in human cloning. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation of cloning humans, and they were like, "Look at the sign." I'm like,
I said this initially. Bill Gates could fuck up your life so much worse than COVID.
Yeah, seriously.
With he just has to go to Microsoft and go, hey guys, give me a minute.
Right.
In the big room with all the shit in it, I'll just he could make all this shit. He could make this catch on fire right now if he wanted to. This is Apple. This is an iPhone. But they respect him. He gets that much. Tim Cook respects him that much that he would go, how many phones do you need me to blow up?
That's it. It's scary. It's scary that it's just so, I don't know. No one believes you. Because if you sit there and if you're just like, you don't get it, man.
Yeah, it's a way for dumb people to turn the tables on smart people. Like, oh, you think it's a viral infection involving microbes. Do you, Dr. Fauci? You simpleton.
Fucking Fauci.
You simple man. Somebody was saying, like, well, they're just going to keep California closed. Why do you think they'd want to keep it closed? What fucking advantage is there to keeping a economy shut? Who benefits from this? Bezos, fine. He's not involved in the legislation. He's not involved in decisions that are made on a county by county basis of states. But it gives dumb people a way to A, feel sorry for themselves, which is the best, and B, turn the table on actual smart people and make it seem like that they're naive and full of shit, what with their education and knowledge.
How many people that you know of, like close or not, that are like a conspiracy right now, like anti-corona?
You know what's funny is...
Has anybody surprised you?
I OG'd Roy like 3 years ago. He goes, the guiltiest I've ever felt in my life was Roy was trying to lose weight. and he had like some blood sugar shit, and I walked in. I walked in on him. I just saw him at the Daily Show drinking a Coke, and I go, "Damn, Roy, I thought you knew better,"
Oh no.
and walked away. People don't really hit me with.
Not hit you, but like, have you seen some, like, is there anybody you're surprised by?
I mean, Dave's a conspiracy person,
Dave doesn't count.
right?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? It's just, is there someone you're like, oh, weird?
I believe in. I do the only, and I don't believe in conspiracies. Redlining wasn't a conspiracy. Like, I believe in racist legislation.
Wait, what do you mean it wasn't a conspiracy?
It wasn't a conspiracy. It wasn't
was the law.
It was a law.
But there was a lot that
It was a custom. It was a norm. It was a law. That's fucking rampant.
Yeah.
That I absolutely believe in. Like, did the FBI kill fucking Fred Hampton? Yes. Like, there's shit that's just demonstrably provable. But these worldwide global elite shadow. The fuck are you talking about?
shadow.
The fuck are you talking about? America wouldn't join the Kyoto Protocol. They wouldn't. They won't condemn Israel. Fucking. By the way, Israel is getting shut down protests because Israel's had like a bad resurgence.
Israel's not doing good in Corona.
Yeah,
They're
and
doing
they
very
had
bad.
they had a lockdown. Now they're having lockdown protests
Protests against
against the lockdown, because it turns out Israelis didn't like being locked down. To which Palestinians said, "You're kidding." What the fuck? You gotta be kidding. We thought it was just us, but I know it's different. So yeah, there's no, like, the UN won't, the United States won't condemn it. There's just all these fucking side deals that prevent an Illuminati, that prevent global anything. Like Bolsonaro and Duterte and fucking Kim Jong-un and Erdogan aren't entering into global conspiracies with America and the UK. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
Fuck yourself. And Saudi Arabia and UAE. I mean, just, it's anyone who says it hasn't thought it through.
It's a lot more business and money related than it is.
It's all money
Come
related.
on, guys.
Yeah, it's all money
Oh,
related.
You're gonna
Yes.
fuck everyone up. It's
Yes,
like, no,
and
no, no,
if
no, no.
somebody
Follow the
has
money,
to
follow the money.
hire somebody or any of that shit, it's because it's like, I got to do my buddy a favor.
Yeah.
It's not like,
all
I
just
shall
money.
plant him and it. This is and then there's political shit like the Supreme Court and Mitch McConnell and shit with like Clarence Thomas. It's like there are revenge plots ongoing,
For sure.
but none of this is lasting. Like, it is a brotherhood with a sword, and we shall.
Right. Well, that's
No
also,
smart person would ever.
I think the problem is there are the conspiracies that really make it mainstream are there's such theater. They have all the elements, like pizza, a pizza shop, and you don't realize, and it
Yeah.
was on this list, and blah blah blah, and now we have to worry about the children. I mean, it has every element for a good, like, get
But
the
they're
people
not
going.
well written. I mean, they're
Terrible.
not.
They're
They're not well. Again, and
But I mean, I watch reality TV. I'm not proud to admit that. It's not
right,
good.
but you know that they're
it's bullshit.
numbskulls.
Right.
That they're all borderline brain damaged
But some people, yeah.
at best. The best of them are brain damaged.
But these people, like with Pizzagate, it becomes part of their identity. People we know.
Of course.
And it's like,
Pizzagate.
you-
If somebody believes shit like this, I can assure you of two things: they're not smart, and they are not powerful, and they've never been powerful, and they've never been around a powerful person. Because you know what powerful people are? Stressed all the time, and they're not stressed because the Illuminati's over their shoulders. They're stressed because they have a lot of shit they have to do. And they're not stressed because they're trying to arrange a molestation. They have fucking
Right.
paperwork and
Molestation
deadlines
is
and
not
shit.
gonna
It's
pay the
not
bills.
like we can't find any hot kids.
Right.
I've never met a powerful person that was stressed out beyond a thing that would stress a person out.
The funny thing is, there are legitimate conspiracies about child molestation rings. There are legitimate ones. It's not Pizzagate. You know, and that's for
It's
me, it's
not-
like if you really care, and it isn't politically motivated, and
Yeah.
it isn't just some nonsense by some dude living in the Philippines. I mean, that's where this whole thing comes from.
I came from Podesta's emails and mentioning having a
Whatever
party
some
at
party. No,
fucking
so the people who run
Comet-
8chan where it
Right,
came
yeah,
from,
yeah.
are they like?
Yeah.
I
Even
don't
they
know.
were like, this is too much.
They were like, this is stupid. But even that guy's like, kind of has some weird child molestation charges in the Philippines. He can't go back to. You know,
I don't stay in the Philippines or Thailand for more than a week because I don't.
You're like,
I don't just.
catch
I
a
don't
fade.
want. But I just don't want any like. No, I don't want it on my passport. My dual
Irish passport. You
gang.
dirty up that Irish
Did
one.
I?
Right. But no. So for me, I'm like, okay, if you care about the children, there are so many things you can get behind. There's so many things you can bring light to. There's so many organizations that need attention. None of them
Yes.
back QAnon.
Just give money to RAIN,
Yeah.
Rape and Incest Survivors Network.
None
It's
of
like-
them back QAnon. None of them. None of them are like, yes, you're. It's nonsense. So
Somebody on
I just,
one of
I'm.
my
Go ahead.
liberal podcasts mentioned that that one of my podcasts is just a liberal man giving a liberal woman a massage. It's just, oh, that's good.
That's a
Ooh,
real
I have
podcast?
No.
Oh,
No, it's a joke podcast that I made
sorry.
up.
Like,
He said that they work, stuff like QAnon works because it's like a online game that people can it's like a puzzle LARPing type game where all the rules apply. Like after a while, it writes itself.
yeah.
You just have to create this world,
And then
it like just like the amount of people involved just will spread it for you.
it's fun. You know, I like my spooky stuff, and sometimes I go online and I read spooky stories. And so,
Yeah.
but there's this one website they go on, and it's weird because the stories are clearly they're just made up stories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a hotel in the Philippines or in Vietnam or something like that, and you know, there's a little girl in the hallway, and we check. Now she's knocking on our door. The lights keep flickering, you know, just something like that. All the comments are like, call, this is
Yeah.
a number. Everyone's buying into it.
Yeah.
And that part is so weird to me. Because I'm like, guys, these are clearly completely made up.
Of course.
Everyone knows. I thought
okay.
it was fiction, that we were all into the
But
fiction.
no.
And the comments are advice. People like, thank you guys so much for the support. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? This is fake. There's no little girl in a hallway.
How? I've never done anything or been anywhere. I live in fucking Mississippi. and then the problem it creates is if I reject it,
It's like,
then
yeah,
I'm
this
cold.
is stupid. Yeah.
right, but then I'm a cold. What if it's real? What if it's like there are
that's
plenty of American kids getting molested, I bet. There's
Yeah.
plenty of American human traffic. There's plenty of fucking help. Corey Haim had a whole movie about it.
Yeah, no one wants to watch it or talk to
Right.
me.
No one cares. They're like, oh no, man, it's got is there a pizza place involved? Then I'm down.
There's child molestation that goes on in this city. There's child molestation
course.
in Hollywood, and not like on some Hollywood elite. Just
No.
piece of shit
It's
people
just
working around
garbage
kids.
people who I'm assuming there's some statistical number. It's a sexual it's like there's a certain amount of straight people, gay people, people that like fucking animals, people that like getting choked, people like of the kinks. I'm assuming there's just a statistical amount of those people, and you just gotta find them and do like raids and shit, hard drives.
Okay,
This
I
is
don't
all
know.
the shit I've
You're,
learned
like
from
giving
news
advice
stories.
for-
Yeah, but
What is this?
it's not gonna happen on a thread,
Yeah,
on an
no.
8chan thread.
Getting behind it, like, yeah, Q. I'm like,
Somebody-
you guys know this is.
Somebody
fucking
did have a very
lame.
funny tweet, which was Kellyanne Conway's daughter's. She was like, "Oh, TikTok is the #1 news source in America, which is very funny. You didn't watch American Murder yet?
No, because I
it's
know
a Doc
that-
Watch.
I
Play the
know
Doc
it.
Watch song.
I know the story already in great detail, so I'm wondering, is it just a well laid out or?
Yeah, I didn't know the story.
Okay. Sicko. Oh, you already saw the whole thing?
I don't. He's not even sick. I've tried to explain this to people, but of course, yes, of
Neal?
course he's sick.
To sit there and choke her. Oh, sorry, you at that part?
Yeah.
Is it one thing? Or
Yeah,
is it
I mean,
episodes?
it's for no, it's one episode.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be episodic, and then I was like, wait, fuck, I'm going to finish this tonight.
no,
No,
I'm not ready.
let
I
me
don't
brush
want
my
to
teeth.
give birth. I don't want to give birth. So, yeah, the fact that he just was like, "God, I gotta get rid of her now." Just
Here's what I've said. I've been saying this for 15 years. We'll play if we only had a song.
play if we only had a song. We need a song.
Thank you, Will. 3 beats late as always. There's one thing
Don't
we
be
can
a
count
dickhead.
on. It's funny.
I know it's funny.
And I am a dickhead.
I'm sorry. I wasn't real.
Don't be yourself. And it's like when you told me to stop fat shaming because of kindness. I'm like, who said I was kind? Kindness. I don't even spell it.
Neal.
Again, that would have been very funny 10 seconds ago.
Hey, fuck you, man.
There we
Great.
go. Finally.
Great. Now we're talking. There are men who I've said on this podcast before, men fuck up more lives thinking they can be decent than almost any other, definitely any other group on earth.
Okay.
Promising women that they can change and be better is a recipe for men to fuck up a life. And that guy wanted to be a dad.
Yeah.
He wanted to be and that lady, they text him, that lady's a fucking pain in the ass. The wife. I don't know what happened to her, but she's a real pain in the ass. She actually said the night before, like, I'm really sorry that I was a pain in the ass. Like,
Because they
that
were going through some
yeah,
separations.
she's bossy, right? Her
Yeah.
friend said she was bossy, and he just kind of was like cool with it, and then she went out of town. He met another lady, and he realized like, oh, this is way better than that. And this is to my point. There are men who would rather kill their wives than make her cry.
Oh, no. Don't put the make her cry part in there.
Absolutely.
No, it's not about them. Make her cry.
Or
They'd rather
hurt
kill
their feelings. Go before the same people that came to their wedding and say, hey, I'm a piece of shit.
that. They don't have the courage to just deal with this shitty situation.
Yes. So they'd rather
Murder.
kill her. I still think, other than the kids, I still think he probably feels like, well, I don't have to face him as much here in prison. I promise you that's one of his thoughts.
No, don't promise me that.
Take the promise.
No, I think it's funny because sometimes my friends will date guys, and if I get it, there's one friend of mine who dated a guy, and I was like, he's the type of guy that would rather kill you
Yes.
than face the shame of people. He's a liar in the head. He can't handle that. Stay
There
away
are
from this guy.
statistically,
Scary.
I'm not going to say, I'll go 1 in 10 guys like that.
Oh, and I can spot them. It's the funny thing is when you said that, it's an active thought I've had of men where I'm just like, you would rather kill me. Not me,
Yes.
but you'd rather kill me.
They present.
It's the outward appearance,
Yeah.
the kind of like, I don't know, have you ever met like a kid that would, you know, when you're a kid, you just rather lie than deal with the fucking, when they're just like, just tell me, just be
Yeah.
honest with me. No one wants
There's
to fucking
good tape from the confession room.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
if you
Maybe I
haven't seen
should
that,
go. I haven't, maybe.
it's some of the best tape I've seen. The
The-
shot's not good, but
Sure.
his confession is great.
When you watch it and you see him like pleading, not pleading, he wasn't really pleading to the news cameras of saying like,
They have
I want them
footage from
It's so bad.
they have cop cam. Somehow the cops'
wow.
cameras worked. I don't know what happened.
Weird. The white guy?
You know, I think black people might jam the signal.
The melanin just
Yeah, I
jams
think the
it?
melanin jams it.
You're too black for this camera. So they have body cam.
They have body cam.
Ooh, that's
They
interesting.
have a lot of cam.
I
They
feel
have
like
a lot
there's
of
more-
footage.
yeah.
They have good footage.
What happens? Is he just like, I don't know where they are,
I've
man.
never seen the guy, and I'm like, this guy's fucking absolutely lying. to
No,
his teeth.
what is it like?
It's like, yeah. Oh, I found a phone. It's
Oh,
just
well,
all premeditated.
Would you look at that?
Yes, like,
That's-
oh, I found her wedding ring. I just wish she'd come home. Turns her phone on. As he's turning on, he goes like, this thing's about to blow up. I bet with phone calls. Meanwhile, 4 of them are from him.
Right.
Like just obvious, just
Like, dude,
incredibly
come
obvious.
on.
Then they go to the neighbor's house to talk to the
yeah,
neighbor.
the neighbor.
And the guy, the dad guy, the main guy, I don't want to say, we'll call him the murderer, hypothetically, walks out of the neighbor's house, and the neighbor's there with the cop, and the neighbor's like, he's acting fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's the craziest part.
Yeah.
When the neighbor's like, yo, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
But I think the cops felt like something was up immediately,
Of course.
right?
Disappearance, it's like wife and kids,
And kids.
yeah, like, and she left her phone. She's dead. That's it. If you leave your phone, you're dead. Know that if you find my phone somewhere, I'm dead.
This
I'm
is
very
how
dead.
stupid certain men are, though. I mean, the fact that you think meeting another woman, the idea of like, now this is nice and easy. Yeah, because you just
fucking matter,
met.
you ding dong.
She could be worse
Yes,
easily.
of course.
So there's no foresight.
And then you'd have to murder her also.
I gotta murder this bitch.
What do you? I want to get into how those types of guy present, because I think they present
Well, I'm thinking of one in particular.
like they
Two in
took
particular.
my charisma class, where it's like, Bianca, really nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you. I want to catch up with you.
So
when we get a second.
they're all charismatic, but there's
It's
cracks in the
learned.
charisma.
Yeah, it's
it's
learned
like
charisma.
it's weird. Like so my
Doesn't
friend.
drip off. I'm like, with me.
So yeah, where's your paper of people's names?
Matilda.
So I'll tell a little bit. I hope he doesn't listen to this because he actually kind of scares me. But he started lying very early on about completely
Why are you lying
innocuous,
about this? Yeah.
like completely innocuous things. That he had a boat. That is
By the way, I had the thought they love boats. These people.
everybody has
They
a
love
boat that's a
boats.
con man.
Yeah.
That his uncle was rich. His uncle that lives in Texas was
Cool.
rich.
Why do I care? I mean, that's what you want to say to this guy. Like, why are you telling me this?
And then his mom. I really hope he's not listening to this somehow. He's never going to, but just
Yeah.
he knows who.
Does
I
he
guess-
know? You know he was lying.
Well, yeah, but not about these things. It doesn't matter. He's not going to listen to this.
Yeah.
So his mom and my friend were talking.
What if he's a
once.
huge fan?
I don't know. He's a really. Those people are also real narcissists.
Of course.
So I don't think he'd listen to a 2-hour podcast of someone else being
Yeah.
a selfish
Yeah.
person. So his mom and him and her were talking once, and she was like, he has a problem. And she said that when he was in first grade, he didn't do his homework or he got in trouble. And he told the teacher, I'm so sorry. Like, can you please, excuse it?
I already love the reasoning. Go.
My parents are getting a divorce. They were not.
They were not,
They
yeah.
didn't even know he understood what divorce was. And the teacher was like, he doesn't have to do that. Turn in that assignment. I understand you guys are going through a hard time. And she was like, what are you talking
Your
about?
husband's cheating on you. Your son told me.
And I remember my friend was saying that her mom always thought, that was the moment that like struck me about my son. Why would he make something up so crazy to get out of such a small issue? And I've seen him do that. I completely cheated on my friend, and the stories were wild. I mean, these are weird stories. I always call him Dear John. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever watched that.
I didn't. Yeah.
He reminds me of that. But I told her once, I'm like, he's the type of guy, because he would never leave her alone. Just disappear for 6 months, always phone call, always an email. Always, if he was blocked on everything, a letter, like weird
Yeah.
shit. Has another girlfriend, still
Yeah.
hitting her up. He had like 5, he's a lot, right? And I told her, I said, he's the type of guy that will kill you instead of
Yeah.
facing your friends.
Yeah.
Be like, we're getting a divorce.
And
'cause I'm
that's
a total
another case of people thinking, they go, fucking hard can murder be.
What do you mean?
Get rid of a body. I'm fucking
Yeah.
smart. I'm really
I'm
smart.
really smart. I'm smarter than Dr. Fauci.
I know more than scientists about science.
Some
So I
QAnon
can
shit.
Figure out.
Yeah. What? Dude, you wrap it
Only
in tarp.
I can bring down a worldwide child sex conspiracy ring.
Yeah.
So I get,
let's
yeah,
do a
fucking
march.
Bitch, I'll murder you tomorrow. Best part is, like a true man, he had sex with her the night before. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Sicko.
But I get it. Kidding. But I do.
Wow.
But it is that thing of like, just stop acting like you're good.
They're running for
stop
office.
it.
They're all running for
Yes,
office.
stop it.
running.
What are you gonna get from this?
Right.
They get kids.
Well,
which-
but what do you think? Okay, let's go in the mind of this man. What is the point of appearing so good? Like, what in them is so brittle that they can't handle appearing bad or maybe
I
looking
think it's
bad?
the men don't realize that.
We should not say men. This is a
No, it's
this
men.
is a guy.
It's a.
You think men are
No,
capable?
this
All
is a
men are
man
capable?
problem. I don't think most men don't murder the lady.
Okay, this is a man problem. Go ahead.
Thousands do.
Most
But-
women who are murdered by a man.
Of course.
So,
Of course. Well, who else is gonna murder them? Women
Right.
don't have the strength.
what happened?
Women don't have the strength to overpower them.
Okay.
Now, yes, please cut that up, and use it against me. Guys don't realize that you can be honest, and it stings at first. It's an uncomfortable 10 minutes, or an uncomfortable 10 years. So just take the 10 minutes and go, hey, I think you're great, whatever. I don't want to have kids, whatever. Like, he should have told her before he cheated on her. Just be straightforward, or tell her 10 years before and be like, I don't think you're great, and the guys often get into like, the kind of person I want to be, because I want to be a good man. You make me a better man. All that fucking mamaganda, where it's like, she's brought out the best in just no.
Well, I mean, when I was younger, I had a real hard time rejecting. It's hard for me. Even now, if a guy's very nice, I'm like, I can't be like, hey, I'm not attracted to you. I can't. It's very hard to do that, especially if someone's giving you love and attention and affection. It's very hard to stop it and be like, I want to get off the bus, the love bus.
It's
It's
and
hard
I
to
also
get off
think
the
it's
love bus.
I think it's hard to get off the love bus, and I think it's hard for women to. You don't want to. It's that thing of like, you may kill us, but I don't think it's exactly that. I think the man will. Women are afraid of being murdered by men, right? But it's more. You don't want to be you don't want to be kind of a jerk you want to keep your options open.
Well, I really don't feel like most guys have most guys are really honest. I am not looking for something serious. Most guys don't want to get into something when they're not into it.
The next time you bring it up, their answer will be softer, because they've slept with you, and they don't want to be the answer gets grayer. The more, like, it's funny. Just accept them at their word.
Yeah.
Just that whatever he said at the top, that's the truth. It's like I don't believe anything women say sexually, or because I don't think we've talked about it. Like, I don't believe anything a woman says about my penis. I just will never believe them.
What do they say?
they're complimentary, but I don't
Like
even
big.
like saying that on the podcast.
Okay.
Because I don't want people to think that I think well of my penis. No, but I don't want people to. I just go, thank you. You're not a reliable source. Because women are trained like Marines to just say it's great. That's great.
Now that is true. I have lied. Oh,
Yeah, you're just
fucking liar.
I'm not even mad I don't think you're a liar. I think this is a scenario
You have to
where
just
you
like-
cannot tell me the truth. So when you do, even though they probably are, that's
so funny. I've lied to every single person I've ever slept with.
I'm sure.
Not even if it was the truth, it's still like I'm on autopilot.
You don't even
So,
know what the fuck you're saying.
I'm like, great, it's great.
Yeah.
Lovely size.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, there's only one that was like that is my top. There's
Yeah.
one person.
By the way,
and I never dated
any
him.
one of your exes who listens to this thinks he's it.
Oh no, I never dated that guy. So wasn't you?
So you just saw a picture of it?
No, I never dated him.
Wow.
Was some
Okay. All right.
entanglement
Huh.
situation. But no, it's funny because when you're hanging out with that person, it does become it's the soup of the day. It's great.
Yeah,
But I
also
do
think
like
it's I think it's
shrimp and
rude.
asparagus.
Right. I think it would be rude to say a little below average. It would be rude the same way it's kind of like women. I don't trust a thing women say about my penis, and women shouldn't trust a thing men say about their relationship.
Yeah.
Like we can't.
I don't know though. Guys are pretty good at that age-old rule of if you have nothing nice to say, don't say something else. Guys don't just give out fake compliments. So, no, they don't. No, Neal's making a silly face with his glasses.
Check my phone,
No,
I'm dead.
no. No,
I died.
listen, no.
Time of death.
No. Okay. So no guy's gonna be like, damn, your pussy's
First of all, any
tight.
pussy compliment is insane because they're all great.
Okay, take a pussy compliment.
They truly are. It's like
You
it's
have-
a thing. It's not even.
No guy's not gonna say like you have nice hair if you have shitty hair. They don't do the like fake out from zero compliment from nothing.
Who was talking
They'll
about
find something
a
that
guy
is real.
complimenting the thing about you that they don't like? Going like, I like your. Taylor Tomlinson. I started doing stand up. She was like, guys will compliment the thing that they know you're insecure about. Be like, I like your eyebrows. And like, why did you mention them?
Right.
Why did you bring that
Or
up?
that's when people tell you like, I don't find Crystalia hot.
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
you
No,
get
exactly.
annoyed
It's like,
and you're like,
what
shut
do you-
up.
Yeah, just stop it. I didn't.
Stop it.
It's fine. I don't think you should trust what any guy says about a relationship. I don't even think you should trust. I don't think with guys. I don't think you trust their word or most of their actions. You can't trust anything a guy says about relationships. They're just not reliable. That guy because there's too much incentive to be normal, be a great guy, be one of the good guys, he's a good guy. He's a good.
They're also, they're kind of like, toddlers when you're like, be honest, who spilled it? It's like, they don't want to be honest. Being honest is not part of
Scary.
the bottom line. Yeah.
Get your fucking ass whooped.
Yeah.
When you're a toddler, you get your ass whooped. And when you're an adult man and you say what you actually think about a relationship, you're going to get your sex privileges revoked. That's men's biggest fear.
Yeah.
If that dictates that's why, as I've said on here before, that's why men won't. That's why men don't talk about sexual conquest experience very much, because we don't want it getting back to her, and then she won't have sex with me. So she'll be like, "Yeah, what?"
Right.
We just won't talk about it. But that's why guys try to break up in a nice way. That's why guys will reach out, just checking in, making sure you're good, just thinking about you. This being October. They just constantly like, I'm a good guy, right?
Yeah.
Sexually a candidate.
It's like,
Still a sexual candidate. That's all they want to be, is a sexual candidate.
Yeah.
So at best they lie. At worst they will murder you.
It's time to check that email.
wonderful humans. First of all, love the show. Thank you for your openness and honesty. I am a trauma therapist in Las Vegas and found Neal from 3 Mics. Didn't we all? It's such a gift to be able to share with my clients. So number one, can we get an update on your depression? I'm sure you have talked about it on one or more of the podcasts, but I haven't listened to it. Like, for example, still on meds, tried anything new? How are you feeling with it now? Number two, have you done EMDR, eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing? If so, can you share your experience? Yes. I've done, right now, I'm on nothing. I'm fucking raw dogging this thing.
Okay.
The reason I'm raw dogging,
to do the ayahuasca?
yes, is because I'm supposed to do ayahuasca and you can't be on any SSRI. So last week and a half I was titrating for 2 weeks and then now I'm done.
But isn't that a little, I mean, the risk is that you can get.
You get serotonin
fall-
syndrome. Like you get too much serotonin, which I would bet money will not happen to me.
What
even
is
on
serotonin
SSRIs.
syndrome?
You can die. If you take ayahuasca you take an SSRI, you can die. It's like one person a year probably, but you know,
Don't be that one person.
what are the odds? Come
Well,
on, baby,
so-
let's do this.
So you have to get it out of
I
your system.
quit. Yeah. So I've been
No, what are the risks of not taking your SSRI medication?
Oh,
like, can't you maybe fall into like a terrible deep dark depression?
my track with all this stuff is so fucked up, but I did the TMS in China in November last year. That helped a lot. That was good. And I may not need SSRIs. So I may not even need them. The reason I went back on them is because I was having panic attacks.
Really?
I had anxiety. I had panic attacks like the whole week leading up to 3 Mics. I thought I was going to have a panic attack when I did that. I literally,
That's hella
the
scary.
night before 3 Mics, Spade or Jesselnick was supposed to bring me up, and I was like, couldn't go on.
Have you ever had a panic attack on stage?
I've never had a panic attack. I had them that week. The reason I had them, it's too long a story. I took human growth hormone because I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And that amped my system. I got them from a moron, and that it was like a whatever. Sure, right now someone's like, I have good shit. It's fine.
What does it do?
HGH?
Yeah.
The funny thing about HGH, because I ended up giving it to Bijan, it makes you like more aggressive at 4-way stops. Like there were little things where I could see myself
My friend
being
said
aggressive.
it improved his vision. Is that true?
That I've heard that too. Yeah, it's good shit.
What the fuck is it?
It's human growth hormone. It's a thing that your body stops creating after a certain age, or just diminishes, and it just gets it up to 20-year-old level.
What are the side effects? Just more aggression?
In my case, panic attacks.
Fuck that.
And then I had anxiety for 3 months. I'd never had
Not
fucking
worth
anxiety.
it. Not
Like,
worth it or worth it?
No, not worth it. But I don't even think I was on the right. It's a long story. I got it like bootleg,
Tijuana style.
the dumbest way you can
Tijuana
do
style.
it. Tijuana.
Tijuana.
So that gave me panic attacks. Then I had one in England.
What happens when you have a panic attack? What do you do?
I can barely speak on stage. So my throat's choking. I can't. And having anxiety for 3 months sucked because it feels like you're getting a little tased all the time.
Yeah.
Like a little taste.
It's like your brain keeps reminding you
You're just constantly like, oh fuck. Like you can't chill.
So what happened when you were done with the anxiety? Did you have
I never got done with it. I just went back on Zoloft.
you
That's
didn't
all I
fight
did.
through it?
I just don't have anxiety anymore.
Okay.
So this time, that was 3 years ago. So I've been on Zoloft for 3 years, stopping it for ayahuasca. Went on stage a week ago. It was like one of these parking lot shows. And you have to get on the bed of a truck, and it's like this. It's
Yeah.
and I started to get a little panicky.
Why?
Because I don't know. Because you're not supposed to speak in front of people.
Right.
Like, your body is not like, fucking, yeah. Your body's like, what the, we don't, fuck this. So, but whatever, I got through it. And it was like 20 seconds of like, so, but it was, I would have been nervous anyway, because it's, you're climbing up onto an unstable thing in front of 100 people. It's like a recipe for falling. So now I'm on nothing. I'm going to do ayahuasca, probably go back. I'm just start back up on it. And I have done EMDR. EMDR is very good. That was a big help. I did like 2 years ago. Big help with trauma. I mean, that's such an overused word, but the part that's interesting is the reprocessing thing. You basically, it doesn't make sense like on paper at all. It's bi-hemispheric tapping in your hands. Like you hold like an electronic little paddle, like one of those, like a tiny version of the Cheesecake Factory, your table's ready thing. And just boom, 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 boom. Does something to your brain. So each side of your brain's getting activated by the taps. You kind of live a traumatic episode, probably violent, whether it's a car accident, whether it's and you basically just rewrite. It's like the way you could write over your brain CDs in the 2000s. That's what you're doing for your brain for experiences. So it's really good, as she said, with frontline soldiers. It's really helpful.
But how do you know which one it re-tapes over?
Because with a therapist, you talk about the thing, and you go, but like this time, I'm stopping it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and it works it works so well. So this is how, like, small world crazy. So Jamila, the host of the Misery Index on TBS or whatever, on The Good Place, she saw Three Mics, got my email from Mike Schur, who created The Good Place, who I used to write with. I didn't know her at all. She was like, you don't know me, you have to do this therapy. I do the therapy, really helpful. She does another podcast. She does Russell Brand's podcast. And Bijan hears it, doesn't know I know her, and goes, I want to do this. Bijan's going to become an EMDR therapist.
Oh my God, really?
Yes. He's like doing it now. He's doing like his own kind of homemade EMDR with like VR goggles and shit. Like he's inventing his own methods. It's really helpful.
He just like retapes people's brains over with images of him. Now I walk through the door.
With Xbox games. Right. With Grand Theft Auto missions. Your dad didn't hit you. Gee. You stole that animated car. So EMDR is great, and I recommend it to everybody. It doesn't make sense. Just try it. That's all I would say.
Everybody or people with
anyone with I don't think it would hurt anybody.
Okay, cool.
But if you have a traumatic thing, or even if it's emotionally traumatic, it can. I can tell you, it's very hard to say when something is like, I am X better as a result of that. I would say I'm 25% emotionally healthy as a result of that.
Dope.
I don't think it's gonna like get me married or anything. You know, let's not be crazy.
But married.
But
goodbye. You've got mail.
What's up, y'all? OG Feeler, second time caller. RESPCK. I've been thinking about how white people collectively have barely scratched the surface in terms of acknowledging racist and racial prejudice.
How dare you? I'm kidding.
I know this because they haven't classified it into dozens of categories and subgenres. Almost every other thing or experience has been studied to the point where different parts of it are labeled based on characteristics. Except racist. People just get a generic racist label slapped on them and then they're dismissed. We need to establish a nuanced classification system when describing racist behavior. something similar to how liquor and wine are placed in distinct categories
Spirits.
based on certain characteristics like vintage, geography, or flavor profile. How Neal feel and what Big Rig Binks thinks.
Hey,
What did he say?
Big Rig Binks. I like it. I mean, it is. We do have anti-Semitism,
Yeah.
and it's funny because no one's ever like, was it really anti-Semitic? Was it? Or were you just being a little sensitive? We probably didn't mean it like that.
Right.
We're all very, yup, that's fucked up because, Jewish people have been persecuted for a very long time. But I don't know why we aren't that supportive when it comes to.
I know why. Because people don't like people without white skin on them. Covered in white skin. Yeah, I mean, I guess my question would be, to what end? Because
just
it's
have a word for it.
like for anti-black racism. Okay. I mean, I think when people say racism, they think white on black.
Yeah.
I don't. What I'd be more concerned about is the laws before the words and the labels. By the way, if you're a Proud Boy, stand by. Stand through and stand down. I think just I again, far be it from me to go like, you're focusing on the wrong thing. But it seems like the bigger issue is not the way it's presented. It's just that shit happens and white people don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And
they have to pretend
I
to
wonder,
care with other racism. I feel like some people just pretend to be like, it's really
I mean,
fucked up.
I feel like with anti-Semitism, there's like a certain amount of like, for most for poor white people, they're like,
eye roll.
yeah. Like there's like a, what'd they say to you? Powerful Jewish person? Because it
Almighty.
like there's a Elon Gold buddy of mine he does this Shabbat telethon for it's a charity for like poor Jewish people, and every year I'm like, come on, where'd you find them?
No, there's one.
Of course there is.
No, I'm not saying like Neal.
Yeah.
There was a billboard near my house when I used to live off Gower, and it was like an old lady and a young kid, and they both looked really sickly.
Uh-huh.
And it said something like 50,000 Jewish people live. Maybe it was L.A. or maybe it was America or California. And it was like live under the poverty line and live in, poverty and squalor essentially, and to donate to. And I was like, really?
I know.
Never
and
heard
that,
of this.
which is technically anti-Semitism. It's
What is?
stereotyping Jewish people into being they're all rich,
No,
right?
but I don't think of that. Even Middle Eastern people, you don't see a lot of Middle Eastern, transients.
Oh, like
I'm just saying
there's
with
not a
our-
lot of homeless Middle Eastern.
There's not a homeless Middle Eastern.
Well, they'll just live in their Mercedes.
No,
Bianca, it's a 99,
that's
but
ew,
they all
99,
are. It's a
shut up.
1999 Mercedes 4-door. And yes, it's got tinted windows.
I just mean I guess that is it's part of the stereotype, but I just don't see us. It's more like I've never heard of it. So when you hear such a big number of Jewish people live under the poverty line, like in
Yeah,
poverty, I'm like,
yes.
who's
Yeah,
no
of
one's
course.
talking
No,
about
yes,
this.
of course. Because it doesn't. It's like the math is
It's
too.
like,
It's too
ooh,
complicated.
you're
It's just too complicated. It's just like no. I choose to believe that Jewish people are bankers and rich, so it's just easier for my own paperwork in my head.
It was only that one billboard I've ever seen.
There's
no one
the
talks
Shabbat
about it.
telethon. If you go to like Westwood, there's a lot of Shabbat,
I think I see it. They have there's like an advertisement.
especially
that's
when
part of the year.
it's like the month of it. There's
Yeah,
like a lot of
that
those
you-
banners on.
I just didn't know it was for poverty.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
it's a Jewish charity. So I think what I was gonna say is I'd be interested to see what anti-Semitism and sympathy for it, what it was like in 1935 and 1945. Because I bet in 1935 they were like, what's wrong, Jewish
Right.
people? And then they were like, oh,
Oh boy.
oh boy, something, you were right.
Yeah.
In the same way, like with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. White people still have no idea. A friend of mine bought a house.
You said white people?
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
still so. Is it?
Yeah, there's
that
a
racist?
yeah.
There's still. My friend of mine bought a house, and I think maybe off of Adams or something, and her husband's like a doctor and whatever.
Yeah.
Black.
Dr.
bought
Dre,
it.
go ahead.
No. And
Black
in
doctor, Dr. Dre. Yeah,
the paperwork, there was it said owner of this property, like it legally can only be Caucasian or white, and they are black, and they had to sign this paperwork, and it was in the attachments paper, and they pressed the real estate agent to find out what that paper was, and then the real estate agent was like, okay, this is uncomfortable, but this is actually what it's like, called racist covenants in like the paperwork. And
which also goes to my point. White people don't need conspiracies.
it's true.
They'll make you sign a racist covenant
Yeah.
at a lawyer's office.
Seriously.
Like,
Well,
why are you looking past the idea that there are racist covenants in real estate in 2020? Why isn't that the absolute focus of your activism person? And you go like, nah, QAnon.
right. Well, the funny
fucking-
thing is there is legislation only now getting passed. I think it's on the ballot to remove it. It hasn't been removed.
We'll see
They're
if
just
it passes. We'll see. It's going to be touch
Wait,
and go.
when they have the yes and no.
Yeah,
like,
we're
it's
going
like,
to see if you get a better hope that some people get corona.
I mean, you literally are just told, ignore it. We won't enforce it.
Right.
And just ignore it because no one gave enough of a fuck to take it out of the legal paperwork. So it's all there. And because it doesn't really affect white people, it's just like, well, ignore it. Ignore the fact that you are a black couple signing and buying a house and paying all this good money, and the person who owned this property desperately did not want you.
Yes.
And I just don't understand. Someone has to literally pass a law to take it out.
Mm-hmm.
And they still have to hope it passes.
Yeah. There's not.
I told that to a white person. They were like, no.
I
that's
told
not-
it on one of my
No.
racism videos from at the beginning of
One
George
of
Floyd.
my racism
One of my
videos,
award-winning
volume 10,
yeah, one of my
starring Neal Brennan.
where I said Rock wanted to get a house in the Hamptons for the summer for a month, 3 years ago or something, and he had a white person go look in his place because he knew that a black person, even one who looks like Chris Rock and goes by the name Chris Rock, will not get the same opportunities.
What do you mean? Had a white person look in his face?
He had a white on some like a gentleman's agreement shit, was like, just you'll represent me.
Oh.
Don't say who it's for. Because if they know it's a black person, they will not show you all the houses.
Wow. Even Chris Rock?
Yes.
You didn't say all that.
Yes, in 2017, I believe was the
That's
year.
crazy.
It's insane. It's insane.
And they wouldn't show all the houses.
Yeah, they
That's
wouldn't.
so
They
funny.
wouldn't explicit, as I
Right.
said on the video, they wouldn't explicitly say like, "You can." We have a covenant.
Right.
They would just go. They would start saying, "At
Did you
this
see the
time,
covenant? Yeah.
at this time, some of our inventory is a little short." They just fucking jargon it up.
Yeah.
And make it seem like nothing racist is happening, but it's only for black people. And so call it whatever the fuck you want. I don't. If this gentleman thinks, by the way, sir, I love you, in the Arby's commercial, we have the meat. But by the way,
have
Ving
the
is so
meats.
fucking good in those commercials. It's insane.
He's so good all the time.
He's so good all the time. And I don't know if I ever talked about this on the podcast. Biggest gossip I've ever met in my life.
Oh
And
my
it's
God, that makes him better.
The funniest.
Can we have him on?
I haven't
He'd
seen
be
him
good.
since we did the award-winning The Goods in 12 years ago.
Neal, hit him up. He will come on our podcast.
Ving's about to tell a great story because I asked him a question and he go, "Can I be honest with you, brother?" And then fucking here he comes.
He was in that Mission Impossible, huh?
Yeah.
He was
And he
good.
told me what he made for every one of them.
Oh,
when I didn't even ask him that.
do you make a lot of money?
Yes.
Good.
And he said, especially because Tom Cruise got him a lot of money. Specifically, Tom Cruise got him a lot of money.
He has a black son.
Black Sun.
Black son, it's grown.
So what I would say to this guy is, I get what you're going for, and I don't know how much a demarcation of language would move the needle.
I don't think it would, but sometimes it's just showing, even if it's retroactive, like a little respect to the fact that black people do struggle and receive a particular type of racism, you know, because every immigrant can experience racism, but really black people experience a certain kind that is targeted towards them and literally not even towards other more. If we're going to keep races down, I mean, wouldn't you keep, if you're, well, I don't really want to get in the mind of a racist. I'm just saying that there's immigrant.
Come on in. Please, the door's open.
There's immigrant communities that excel, that thrive. You know, I don't understand the keeping black people down legislatively.
Because they feel bad about slavery.
Yeah, but
they feel bad about slavery and they can't process it because it's so awful and they've done nothing. So Rock is going to come on the show and we're going to play Chris Rock, Believe It or Not, where I'm going to tell you setups from conversations and you have to guess what. Yeah, like Rock has the difference between Jim Crow and slavery is, I won't get into it, but it's when you hear it, you're like, oh my God, he's so right. Like it's
basically a bunch of fucking dudes who would kill their wives before they admit they want to get a divorce. That's what white people are to black people. It's like, I'd rather just keep you down, oppress you, than admit like, that was fucked up. What my great
it's so fucked up. You almost can't believe it.
Yeah,
it's almost
no one would want it to happen to them.
And guess what? White people kind of choose not to because it's too painful to believe.
It's just so fucked up.
It's so embarrassing.
It's like no,
it's the guy in the confession room. It's the guy in the confession room on the movie in the American Murder. By the way, stop putting American in the title. It's fucking corny. It's fucking. We can't all have American in it.
No, but that's the funny. That's even racist. Like this guy. The photo they showed was him with his family looking so nice, and I get it because he murdered them, and it did more happen dramatic.
In America, yeah.
And it did happen in America, but it was around the time they were showing it was around Ferguson, I think, when this happened. And people were saying, you know, oh, don't show his nice graduation photo. Show him looking like a thug. And it's like, look what you guys do to your murderers. It's always a nice picture of a nice white guy, even when they're fucking murderers.
I would suggest that that's a narrative thing. It's just
I think
a
it is
better
narrative,
poster.
But it's just better.
It's like a more of a fucking switch.
It's like, look how nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Now, meanwhile, OJ's on the cover of Newsweek and he's darkened. Because it wouldn't have, just a regular mugshot wouldn't have done the trick.
They darkened it?
Yeah, remember? That was a scandal in 25 years ago.
But this is
in
for the murder,
1995,
was this
the
for
week
the
he
murder?
the week he got
Can
arrested.
You just look up the OJ?
Boy.
Never mind. It's
just OJ Newsweek. See,
oh my God.
Yeah, they darkened the.
Shut the fuck up. That one is real.
That's not. They put a filter on it before we had filters. The American Tragedy darkened OJ.
Darkened OJ. It's so darkened.
Yeah, he's 2 shades darker.
He's black. He's the color of black, like the zero hash 000.
Yeah, the Pantone. Pantone.
Pantone. Okay.
Goodbye. You've got mail.
Yeah, since we're talking about Rock.
What's up, Naller and Baller? I was just watching Chris Rock's monologue on SNL, and he did a bit where he made the point that Walter Cronkite was the most respected man in journalism because we never saw him in shorts, and that got me thinking, man, that sounds like some Neal writing, talking about not wanting to see famous news figures or politicians in casual wear. So I was wondering, was that your work? Have you been writing for him, or did any work on that SNL show, I think on October 3rd? Anyways, love the pod, guys. Keep it up.
That guy gave us his sexiest voice.
It was pretty
Love
cool.
the podcast.
Love the pod.
Keep it up. Brother.
I did not write for the show specifically. I did speak to Chris on the phone, and we talked about that area in conversation. And the good thing about talking to a funny person is you will get ideas for stand-up comedy. And sometimes I get an idea from something he says, and sometimes he gets an idea from something I said. And history will only remember the times that he got any. It will only favor him. Here's my point. Look, you didn't fucking say that. History will be like, hey, fuck it out of here. That's fine. Yeah, but that's I mean, a lot of the things we talk about, I've already yelled at him about this before I yell at you.
Yeah. Well,
and the funny thing is, I cut him off. I cut him off as much as I cut you off. To everyone's like, what did they cut off? There are times where I'll be on the phone with him and I'll cut him off and I'll go, Neal, you know this guy's one of your favorite comedians of your life. I don't care. I've got something to say.
I didn't think you cared.
And it's meandering.
You just don't like the blowback. I don't think you care.
What's this waitress talking to me for? That's how
I actually texted you.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
Yes.
I was like,
well, yeah, no, because a lot of times he'll send me not literally the AOC makeup video, but we'll talk about this. He'll try to OG me like, you motherfucker, your generation. And I'm like,
how old is he?
He's 10 years older than me.
Really?
Yeah. Your generation. I'm like, my generation? The fuck are you talking? And then I'll have as harsh a thing as he does.
And then he's like, damn, Neal.
No, he literally, the Ronda Rousey joke he did, I said a way meaner version of on the phone, which we won't get into because it's not for everyone.
Okay.
But yes, there are times when people go, you and Dave sound alike. Fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they never. I won't even get into it.
Don't get into it.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I won't get into it.
You've got mail.
Hey, Neal and Bianca. Maya here. My boyfriend and I are longtime feelers, LST and ER. I wanted to know what your thoughts are on neo-hippie earth chicks that maybe take it way too far. To dive in, I have a friend who is in a monogamous relationship, and she recently told me that she gives oral sex to her girlfriend while she's on her period, regularly. And not at the end of her period, sometimes on the second and third days. She described herself as being a proud earth mama for the fact. In the moment when she told me, I played it cool, but honestly, I was in total disbelief. Despite my boyfriend and I considering ourselves pretty progressive thinkers, we are both morbidly disgusted. Does this violate the terms of wokeness? My boyfriend says, if that's woke, put me to sleep. Also, is this low-key cannibalism? How Nelly Felly and how Binky Finky.
I like how it seems like we ask people to do this. We've never encouraged, we've encouraged it.
And I love it.
It's so dumb and so great.
It's so funny and silly. And that literally, they did themselves.
Yeah,
like QAnon
they did it. Like QAnon, they write it writes themselves.
Well, so, okay. Not to be a earth hippie chick, but... this is going to be a little vulgar, excuse me. But if you take a shower and you're squeaky clean and then you immediately put a tampon on, I mean, like, that could be a... that could be a way where it's
hypothetically.
Fine.
You could.
No, stop.
I'm going to say something that's going to surprise a lot of people right now. I don't disagree. Now, I've never done it, but there are times when, I don't
think there's any.
Here's a question, and only a woman can answer this. Let's say I go down on a woman having her period, who's on day 2 of her period, By the way, I thought of a period joke that I'll never do, but I should give to like. It's a very
do it.
shimmery joke, which is, periods are like peanut butter. They come in chunky and smooth. Thank you very much.
I don't like that.
And of course you don't, but you did giggle, and it's too late. How much? Let's say I was down there for 15 minutes. How much goop am I going to get out? Gooped with?
Blood.
But it's some goop.
Tissue.
Okay. Scoop.
Goop.
Sorry, blood and goop. It's fucking blood and tissue. Okay, sorry, doctor. Go ahead.
Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci. Dr. Binky.
How much? Okay, I'm going to be honest. To not plug and to go down there is weird for a lot of reasons. One, if you're bleeding at the
Pray
moment.
for your sheets. Pray for your mattress.
One, yeah, it's like, so
you
that's
better
just
have a
crime
deal
scene for no reason.
with Tuft and Neal.
Crime scene for no reason. So let's mess everything up. I'm never going to, fresh out the shower on my period, just sit on my bed. So there's the logistics of cleaning. I don't know what the upside would be to do that without at least like plugging it up.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you could be fine. You're not going to get a lot because the clit is so far above the hole, but it really depends on your eating out style. So there's no fingery.
I'm a big labia guy.
So if you really do a
Bianca,
spread,
I'll go to like the lower part of the labia and just nibble. Go ahead.
So
is that good? I don't believe anything women say when it comes to sex.
Okay, don't. Just if you take it all labia, like I feel like there's an angle where you could be fine. But then I'm just going to be honest. It smells like blood. Why do you want to be down there? It's not a great time for both. So it just seems like we're both doing something slightly inconvenient to say we do it.
Yeah, I don't. I think the bigger issue here is that women shouldn't be going down on women. Next question. I think that there's something. I've often wondered, like, I've had women be on their period and they'll go like, I'm on my period, and then it's like, well, I can still rub your clitoris, ma'am. I don't need to. I'm not going down there head first, but I don't think it is as disqualifying as you do as when you hear about a period in high school, where you're like, oh well, it's closed for a week.
Yeah, no, it's not closed. I think sex is perfectly fine on your period.
There are a lot of people that would disagree.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I think it really, I do think I'm not, if a guy's not comfortable, I'm fine. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
What, are you going to force it?
If you're about your business.
No. If you're not comfortable, I think sex should be comfortable for everybody. If you're uncomfortable, what the fuck? I'm not going to force you. I might be like, come on.
No, of course not.
Come on.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Would you, if a girl was like, would you go down on me? I really want you.
No, I wouldn't go down
on
a woman when she's on her period. It's just like, just give it, sweetie, just give it 2 days. Sweetheart.
Goodbye.
Come on.
You've got mail.
Okay, I'm going to read this. Hey, Neal and Bianca. LST, NER, and repeat. And repeat letter writer. Cool. My voice is too nasally for audio. Anyway, really enjoyed the first part of you guys doing the NYT 36 questions. Looking forward to part 2. Fiance and I did all but the last question tonight, and it was great. This is my second go around after a 16-month marriage that ended with my ex freaked out that things were starting to get serious. Anyway, since then, I've noticed that temperament actually has way more to do with a successful relationship than common interest. Thoughts?
I think temperament is massive. I don't think it has more. I think common interests are
equally as important.
I don't think but I think temperament is the secret sauce of humanity. It's up there with charisma. I mean, in terms of just having a nice pleasant temperament. It's fucking, I'd pay money for a better temperament.
Yeah.
I just stopped taking my temperament pills.
I know. Damn it.
No, I mean, temperament's fucking massive. But you can have a good temperament, but if you're like, all right, I'm going mountain climbing, and she's not, I think it can only last so long of like, well, I'll see you later.
Right.
Especially the first 5 years of the relationship, it's got to be.
It can't just be good temperament because I know a lot of people with good temperament that avoid talking about things and consider it drama. It's like, let's just keep it even. That you don't get anywhere if you don't have the.
But what if you
skills to talk.
don't like any of the same activities?
To me, common interest is so much more important than temperament because I'm not saying you need temperament for it to last, but someone can have a great temperament, and if you don't have that much in common, you're only bonded on one or two things emotionally that you like about the person. I mean, maybe it'll be fine, but I don't know how fun of a ride it's going to be, you know?
Yeah, it's just going to be.
It's going to be.
Then what happened?
Yeah.
It's just going to be, are you having fun? I'm having fun.
But common interests. The few guys I've dated we have so much in common. It's just so much more fun. They just have a lot more.
And even, by the way, even those don't work. So, look,
well,
guys.
There's a lot. I mean, let's see. There's a lot that goes into a relationship outside of temperament and common interests. If you have untreated mental health issues.
You bitch. For you to bring that up. I'm going back on my pills. Yes. But but relationships, the level of difficulty is so high and no one will admit it.
When are you doing ayahuasca?
In the next 2 weeks, I think.
Where?
I don't know.
Tell me about it.
Do you want to do it?
I kind of want to do it.
You can do it.
Can I do it when you do it?
Yes. Absolutely.
Are you going to do as they say, ceremony?
Am I going to take the medicine at a ceremony? With mother? I think you have to.
So you have to do it in a room with people. What if
I don't know if
screaming?
you don't have to do it in a room with people. I've found a guy that does it. He'll just come to where you are.
Because my thing is like, what if you just shit your pants?
You don't shit your pants. I've done ibogaine, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's like a cousin of ayahuasca.
Stop getting all this
my uncle's rich.
Drugs.
My uncle in Texas is rich. And I threw up and it was fine. You're just like, bleh. You're not like, I don't find throwing up that embarrassing.
No, I don't think it's
so
that
much
big of a
worse for them than it is. I think it's funny that people have to watch me do this. I just think it's like, and I'm going to feel better when I do it.
How long do you trip?
I'm guessing 6-8 hours.
Damn. And you don't go to sleep?
No. The ibogaine, I was up for like 2.5 days. Ibogaine didn't even fuck my sleep schedule up. It changed my sleep schedule from not getting 1.5 years.
For what? Like to what?
I slept less.
I already sleep so little.
Yeah.
I don't think I could deal with it.
But I wasn't tired.
Weird.
It just, my clock was changed.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Like, I'm hoping, look, I'm Mother Ayahuasca, if you're listening, I hope that you can change my clock by an hour, only an hour increments.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it, but I'm interested.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Goodbye. You've got mail.
This is a good question that I've always suspected. Hello, Neal and Bianca. Cognitive psychologists believe that about 40% of our political beliefs are determined by genetics and the other 60% by upbringing and environment. But whether determined by nature or nurture, our political leanings are not freely chosen. I've always felt like that.
Yeah, for sure.
If that's true, isn't disliking someone for being a liberal or conservative, a Democrat or Republican, the equivalent of disliking someone for having blue eyes or a Cuban accent or being left-handed? Yes.
Similar, for sure.
It's what eventually, if we're being honest, I believe as a society, we will realize that every what we call natural bias could be perceived as biased. Yeah. Every one of them. Why don't you date Asian men? I don't know. I just don't like. But why?
Yeah.
You need to you need to dig deeper. I've always felt like that conservatives are almost born because you can't reason really with anybody's. I shouldn't even say conservatives. It's
yeah.
both parties. These independents, you cannot, you can't fucking, these swing voters, you cannot fucking talk to them. No, I think that it's absolutely true. Like that's, and I would say it's probably, I would guess it's more 60% genetic and 40% environmental.
Well, especially when I go home, I feel so much more moderate. I don't feel as liberal. Because I have friends who are like, I can't talk with you. You're not open. You are so far up being like this far left leaning, no tolerance for meeting someone in the middle or compromising on your ideals. So when you really are around it, I think there's just more people who are born into it in terms of conservatives.
Yeah,
It's just part of a lot of places in our country. It's part of the identity.
That was a thing that I wanted to talk about on here, is that liberals are so, they can't even imagine someone being conservative. They can't even imagine. They're like, you're so wrong. It's like, you can't understand how have you not spent any time with a conservative?
No, but that's people who, if you travel in this country a little bit, you know how fucking.
But you don't know why. It's like on Brexit voting,
it's like, wow.
The most dependable Brexit vote was from people who were almost completely unaffected by Brexit.
Yeah.
They didn't like these packies moving in. Meanwhile, they're farmers. So what the fuck are you talking
fishing
about?
towns with nobody.
Yes, you're on a
English
boat,
people.
and that's 12 hours a day you're on a boat, and then the other 4 hours you're talking about your boat.
I know, that's the funny thing in terms of Mexicans. When conservatives talk about Mexicans coming into the border, I'm like, it doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah, that's what it doesn't.
So weird.
But I understand where xenophobia comes from.
Yeah,
I understand where being anti-abortion comes from. I'm not like, what do you even think? That's how liberals are like, what do you...
Oh, they can't even
fathom how you would think for 1 second that I don't... Yeah, I can fathom it. I can like, okay, then you think this, then you think that. Okay. Yeah. I don't think that I'm morally better than them. There's plenty of things about being a liberal that are morally vague. I would argue that there are more conservative things that are morally vague, but of course that's what I would argue.
Yeah.
And that's what I was arguing about 3 weeks ago in that bit that Chris Rock stole from me. I'm red-handed. He said on the phone, who's going to believe you? I'm taking this bit. But the thing about trying to pick off people in Western Pennsylvania and the Rust Belt, it's like you have to understand how conservatives think.
Yeah.
And they don't want to see a woman wearing fucking Chucks or Timbs. And they just want this shit they like. Just do the shit they like. You're not going to sell them on, well, it's better. No, they don't care about that. They don't care about representation. They don't care about any of that. So just appeal to that. But it's a violation. No, shush. Just appeal to them.
Yeah.
But they can't, because they can't imagine a person who doesn't care about representation.
Right.
They can't. They just can't believe it.
Representation matters.
It's everything. But they're not. It's not everything. It's something. Oh, this is a good one. We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah.
Bianca's ADD kicked in, guys.
No.
Goodbye.
Some of us have medication. There's no SSRI that Bianca can go on that would take care of this. Dear Neal,
You've got
what
mail.
you said about sex and marriage in your last podcast got to me in a way that I found myself composing answers in my head while trying to sleep. That means the podcast is working, Bianca. So now I'm letting it out there. It's an easy escape for men to blame the lack of sex in a marriage on the woman not wanting it and justifying their behaviors with this. Do you hear the voice of a bitter, divorced white lady in her 40s in your head? You're absolutely right. Okay, honey? By the way, and I'm not kidding, her name is Karen.
So funny.
Bianca touched on it. The switch from being wanted and seduced to being expected to put out with a minimum of effort put into it is heartbreaking and outdrying. That's a funny word.
Drying.
It dries out her
wop.
vagina.
It
Yeah,
dries
the
out
wop.
the wop.
The dot makes it a dap.
Dap.
Maybe my marriage was extreme, but I really felt the switch from straight after our honeymoon from being a desired woman to a, all caps, wife. It caught me off guard, and after 5 years of really trying my best to keep the romance, no kids, I just stopped wanting him. My ex was Latinx. I'm Scandinavian, so there were some cultural differences. And my theory is that in this culture, there's a mother complex that gets transferred to the wife once you're married. And from there on, you're expected to tend to his every need. Not very sexy. I would love to hear Bianca's thoughts on this. She's not done because she is a white woman named Karen. I really stepped in it, so I'm dealing with my part of this dynamic. Yes, codependent. But for all the broken-hearted ladies out there that blame the lack of lust on themselves and thus takes responsibility for their husband's affairs, I'm just saying maybe it isn't all on you. She goes on, but I think there's plenty there. If you know this is going to happen, don't get married.
Anyway, who knows this is going to happen? What are you talking about?
I think she's saying that this is the common thing. I can't think.
No, she's saying guys don't put in any effort once they're married. They just expect sex.
Right.
And then when they don't get it, like chop, and they use that as an excuse to cheat.
As I said last week, a wedding is all of the effort I should ever have to make. I need to be romantic.
Also, the wedding, first of all, isn't the woman's side pay for it? What effort?
The woman's dad, because the dad's like, fucking can you take her? You get rid of this. How much? What kind of party? Yeah, fine, party. Yes, fucking play settings. It's important. Centerpieces. That's all the. No, I'm not even talking about the ceremony. I'm talking about the joining of everything is the actual version of the symbolism of romance. Romance is a symbolism like, you are the most important. And this is like, you're the most important person. So hopefully I won't have to renew this it sounds like every time I want to have sex with you, I have to remind you of all of the things you are to me. But you're not allowed to remind her of all the things you've done. It's like the joke I did about being in a relationship is like playing a video game with no autosave, where you're like, so you can't start from the board you were on. You have to go back to the beginning
What are you talking
every
about?
single time.
When
you want to have sex, she's saying that you have to go. You have to where the romance go. It shouldn't be necessary if romance is basically you're important to me and you are special. Why do I have to tell you something that I'm living?
But how many relationships are requiring a guy to wine and dine them and be so romantic before we fuck? So many people just fuck. Will's in a relationship. I don't think you have to. You just fuck, right?
Don't bring him into
Okay,
this.
I'm just saying that, like...
You can't win.
Okay, I'm just saying that we've been in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time, it's a quick, no-effort situation.
But she's saying
Her dude
no effort was outdrying.
Right, but this is also saying that he expected her to do everything, like replace a mom.
Oh, but that's a different... That's the
I'm just saying that...
Latinx part.
No... Don't you blame Latinx for that. I'm just saying that I don't think it has to be a reset every time, and you have to convince a woman every time that I do like her, I do love you.
The joke did awfully good over 1,000 different audiences who didn't know that the last audience had laughed at it.
Listen, I'm sure the joke did fantastic. I'm just saying that everybody's been in a relationship. Everyone understands that there is the effort gets cut in half. You've been in relationships. Were you fucking whining and dying every time? No. Yeah. You didn't have to. No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't.
Of course not.
Well,
And it was
again,
fun, and
but
that wasn't
she's
a
saying
bunch of women.
the switch from being wanted and seduced to being expect to put out with a minimum of effort put into it is heartbreaking and out-drying. So
But there's a minimum. There is some sort of seduction and some sort of effort that doesn't have to be like take you out
that's
to
the
dinner.
opposite of let's do it of the thing you're describing in a relationship where it's like, yeah, it's fun, we're fucking.
Yeah, but what there is, yeah, we're fucking. It just there's a mix. It's not always just like
What
come
what
here,
I'm saying
service
as
poppy.
a marriage, I don't think men get enough credit for marrying a bitch, and a lot of times we have to murder them as a result because it was not appreciated. That movie should have been called American Unappreciation.
Stupid ass.
Will, you'll mock that up for me, sweetie. Will, sweetie. If you can throw OJ in there, I'd appreciate it. Very dark OJ.
Dark
In
OJ, okay, times OJ.
In a ski hat.
Mask.
So, no, just a hat. Okay.
Okay.
Well, with a mask, you won't be able to know that it's the juice. Yeah, like you can't.
What is okay? So if a woman is meant to put out, what is the equal but opposite? What's the yin to the yang? So if yin is you're in a relationship and you get sex without putting in effort, what does the woman? We're speaking very traditionally, but what does the woman get?
Oh, unlimited thoughtfulness. That's the thing
from
that
who?
women want from guys that you'll never get. And we want unlimited sex without asking, and you want unlimited. The hacky one is toilet seat down, but there's a million ways in which a woman.
So we're
wants.
both not getting what we want. So what are you complaining
That's what
about?
marriage is. Because That's why I'm living the life, bro.
Yo.
Single. I got my own set.
I got my boom clock.
I
my
got
alarm
my
clock wakes me up.
really loud. I got a hell of a gym over there.
It's quite the
It's
gym.
blowing up. Iron Paradise. The Rock works out here when he's in Venice.
Does he?
Yeah, he skips the Golds that's a block away and comes here. There's no COVID at my Iron Paradise, and that's why I'm not married. And if things continue, ladies, I'm not going to murder you.
He won't.
And I'm not going to marry
But
you.
he will say, buddy, in a
Buddy,
very condescending
fellas.
manner, which just basically feels like you're getting murdered.
Yeah. So I think that the thing that men want is unlimited. Men have been shamed out of that thing of like, just have sex with me all the time. Like all
Not
women
you.
go like,
You
gross,
schedule
'cause
it.
I think it's wrong.
Then if you're going to schedule it, then you need to put in the unlimited thought. If you're going to have it whenever you want from your Google
I do.
Calendar.
6 o'clock. I'll see you there.
Okay, then where's her thoughtfulness?
Don't bring your period. The thoughtfulness?
Yeah, where's the
If
thoughtfulness?
she said, I want it, you get plenty of thoughtfulness. 70-30.
No,
You've heard
no,
the
we're
system.
not going back to
70-30.
70-30. No.
How much thought did I put into getting you a flight out of Ireland? How much
have
work
not-
did you have to
first of all,
do?
you haven't licked my
all
pussy
you
on
had
my
to do
period.
was Jesus. All you had to do was give me your middle name. You had to go the fucking full. I'll take care of it. I will be thoughtful.
On your terms.
Yes,
That's the problem. That you want sex on your terms and thoughtfulness on your terms. No, sex on your terms, thoughtfulness on my terms.
Right. Okay, fine. That's what I'm saying is men have been shamed out of our sexual wantonness. This thing of just like on
Who's shamed
demand.
out?
Women just go, you're talking about a prostitute. That's gross. Never going to happen.
Yeah, if you do it
and
on
men
the
go,
first
okay.
date.
No. Overall, men are just like, okay. And whereas women haven't been shamed out of all the goofy things you think men should be, you still think are viable. And they were out drying to her when you should just go, oh, this is silly that I would think someone's going to be committed to me or not committed to me. Commitment's fine, but this madame to me.
Yeah, but guys don't do it. So I don't know.
Right.
Like,
And women are still upset about it. I'm saying I'm not going to do it. And you're not going to do the sex thing. So let's just not be married because we both know how this is going to work.
cool.
And you want to go to the Kennedy Center?
Wait, stop bringing me into it.
It all comes back to all the things I've done for you. Well, play one of our many theme songs, would you? Because Bianca, I don't know about you, but I don't have to take this shit anymore.
No, I
you
don't
can stay here
either.
and take this
No,
shit.
I'm gonna go.
We'll play the fucking song.
Will, fuck, we're riffing.
And then play the choral one, the good one.
You keep saying choral. Oh, is that what you call it?
Choral, yeah.
That's so good.
So good. Too powerful.
Too powerful.
Goodbye.